Yeah, this case number 533 on the calendar in the matter of Loman versus Bogardus. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Loman, this young man is your stepson.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still married to his father?
No, I'm not.
So he's your former stepson.
Right.
How many years were you married to his father?
7 years.
And how old was he?
He's 21.
How old was he when you were married to his father?
In his teens,
In his
early
teens. According to your complaint, you maintained a nice relationship with him even after you separated from his father.
Yes, ma'am.
And he approached you sometime in April of last year and asked if he could rent a houseboat that you own. You made an agreement that as long as he paid the dock fees, which was sort of like the rent, and he was going to do some work on the houseboat, that you would let him rent it. So you really weren't asking him for any rent for the boat itself, but he was supposed to pay for the dock fees. You claim that for the 9 months that he lived there, from April until December, he did not pay you rent, did not pay the dock fees.
No.
Put your hand down. And when you finally received notice that he wasn't paying the dock fees and asked him to leave, you went to see what the place looked like, and it was a disaster that he damaged
Just a
it.
pigsty.
Okay. Mr. Bogardus says that he, in fact, paid the dock fees every month. He paid them to you, either some in cash and some by check. That's what you say in your answer. Is that right, sir?
Yes, sir.
And that he did a lot of work around the houseboat. He put in moldings and he fixed it up, so he doesn't know what you're complaining about, right?
Yes, that is.
Okay. You did, in fact, move into the houseboat in April of 2004.
Yes, I did.
And you were there until December of 2004.
Yes.
How much were the dock fees?
Like $395?
Well, you shouldn't have to think about it. How much were the dock fees?
$395.
And you paid those each month from
Yes, I did.
April until December.
Till December 1st.
You paid some by check, some cash.
Yes, mostly by cash.
But you paid, according to you, some by
Yeah.
check. So
Yeah.
now I'll see the checks that you gave her for the $395.
I don't have any check stubs from it. I'm real bad on keeping stuff like that with me.
How old are you?
21.
Let me explain something to you. When you have a checking account, and we're talking about something that happened a couple of months ago, and you know you're coming to court, Mr. Bogardus, and you say that you paid some by check, you bring the checks, and you don't say, I'm real bad about it. You're not bad about getting yourself up and trimming your goatee in the morning, are you?
No, I'm not, Your Honor.
Then you bring the checks if you're coming to court. If you want me to believe you. Otherwise, I think that you're full of baloney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you work from April until December?
Yes, I did.
Who did you work for?
Subway sandwiches.
And you're paid by check.
Yes, I am.
How did you pay her the cash payments that you made each month?
I withdrawed it from my checking account.
Show me the paperwork where you withdrew $395 each month to give her for the dock fees.
I don't have any of those receipts.
Well, what did you think you were coming here for today, sir? For me to tell you how nice your hair was combed?
No?
Well, what did you think you were coming for?
To defend myself, so
Well, how can you defend yourself without any proof, sir?
Guess I can't.
You guess right. Because if one had the proof, one would bring it. And if you didn't bring it, it's because it doesn't exist. How much were the dock fees?
$395 a month.
$3,555 for the dock fees over the 9 months that he was there, which he didn't pay because he has no proof that he paid it. Now, let's get to the way the boat looked when you reclaimed it. You have photographs?
I do have some photographs.
I'd like to see it.
The first picture is what the boat looked like on the outside. The outside was not messed up like the inside, fortunately.
This isn't a houseboat, it's a boat.
It's
a
no,
sailboat.
it's Sleep 6. It's a sloop.
But it's not a houseboat.
No,
not
it's
called a
sailboat.
houseboat.
The bottom picture is a microwave, and he put a metal rack in it. Now everybody knows that a metal
All
rack.
right.
would-
Your Honor.
What?
I did not put a metal rack. I'm not that
So
stupid
far, I
to
don't
know
see anything that
you
looks
don't-
so untoward. Do you have any other pictures you want me to, see?
On the next page, the hole that's in the bottom, that's in front of the sink, and then also the generator that was missing. That was so he could do the work on the houseboat.
What do you mean it was missing? I don't understand.
It's no longer there.
What happened to the generator?
I don't know. Someone could have stolen it off from where the house was, or the boat was. Why would I steal a stupid little generator?
I also have a price list, if you'd like these.
No.
Before Parker moved in, I bought a new stovetop with oven for him to put in. He said he'd replace these things for me. I bought the microwave for him to put in, also the generator. Then I've got all the things that you make it so it converts into things. And then I bought a refrigerator, which was also, when I walked in, the place, it looked like he'd partied, just had a great old
Ms.
time.
Loman, let me explain something to you. Boys take a lot longer to mature This one, even if he's a good kid, and I don't know whether he is or whether he isn't, you know, I assume that if you let him use this expensive piece of property, that you thought he was a good kid. They're all babies. They sort of catch up from the time before they get to Social Security. Sometimes they get smart. But if you rent to a teenager a party boat and expect him not to party, Miss Lohman, you're operating somewhere out there on Pluto.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She didn't hatch you. She didn't bring you up until you were a teenager. She did something very nice, and you rewarded her by not doing the right thing. And that always comes back to bite you in the behind.
And later today,
I was not in any hurry.
Stop shaking your head. It's irritating to me. You don't want to irritate me before I hear your side of the case, do you?
No.
So stop it.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tisa Lohman says her former stepson, Parker Bogardus, trashed her boat. Tisa also claims Parker owes for unpaid slip fees.
Okay. So the fact that he left food out and the place reeked, because that's what you say, that if you walked in there and it smelled, it looked like it hadn't been cleaned in months. He's lucky he cleans himself. He's lucky he cleans himself. She did something very nice for you, Mr. Bogardus. She doesn't owe you a thing. She didn't hatch you. She didn't bring you up until you were a teenager. She did something very nice, and you rewarded her by not doing the right thing. And that always comes back to bite you in the behind. And if it doesn't come back today to bite you in the behind, someday you'll do something nice for somebody else, and they will repay your kindness by an unkindness, and you'll know how it feels.
I guess I will when it happens then.
Yeah, I guess you will. Right now, you're going to pay $3,550. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
We'll never have a relationship again, which is a bummer.
I'm not a bad guy. I paid what I had to pay.
Well, I loved him like a son.
I guess, oh well, then she's not my real mom.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Krolick versus Killen, step forward, please.
Hairstylist Phil Krolick is suing his former friend, realtor Donnie Killen, for a loan to attend massage therapy school. Donnie claims Phil made the tuition payments behind his back.
Mr. Krolick, you and the defendant were friends, and according to your complaint, you made a loan to him for school tuition.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Callen acknowledges that you paid $2,000 for his tuition at massage therapy school, and according to him, it was a gift. He never made a contract with you for repayment. Is that right?
Correct.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding this loan, Mr. Krolick.
Your Honor, the defendant came to me in June of last year, in 2004, and had expressed the idea of going to massage therapy school. He said
What was he doing at the time?
He was a real estate agent, Your Honor. He said that he was checking into the school. He didn't have enough money to go pay for it himself. He asked me if he could borrow the money, and I felt like I wanted to help him. He was my friend. I was given help when I got into my career, and so I got the money together and wrote a check.
Who did you write the check to?
I wrote the check to the school, Your Honor, and I do have that for
I
you.
also
I'd
have
like
a
to
copy,
see-
Your Honor.
Mr. Killen, don't speak until I look in your direction.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to have an opportunity to testify. Right now, it's his turn. We know about turns?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you give him this check?
No, Your Honor, I took it down to the school.
Was he with you when you took it to the school?
He was there that day, Your Honor, I believe.
Was he with you when you took the check to the school?
Not immediately, no.
Okay. What was the conversation that you had immediately preceding you taking this down to the school?
We had discussed that he needed to have some time to pay it back. I was not in any hurry.
Stop shaking your head. What you're doing is in the form of testifying, sir, and it's irritating to me. You don't want to irritate me before I hear your side of the case, do you?
No,
That would be a very dumb thing for you to do. And what you're doing is irritating me.
Yes, ma'am.
So stop it.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, we discussed that he would need a grace period. It's a clientele building business. I'm in a clientele building business.
What kind of business are you in?
I'm a hairstylist, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I knew it would take him time to get established, and I wasn't worried about getting the money immediately. So we decided we would have installments that he would pay me a few months after he got out of school. He was my best friend. I wasn't trying to put him in a situation that would set him up for failure.
Did you complete the course?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently working in that field?
No, ma'am. The
Why not?
license laws in the state of Illinois have changed. You need an additional 400 hours
400 hours for what?
in order to become licensed with the state. You need another 400
practical
hours
work?
of class.
Of class? Well, when do you intend to do that?
Actually, at this point in time, I don't intend to. The discussion about...
I'm asking you specific questions.
Okay.
So you haven't gone back to work in this field?
Not in this field.
Go ahead.
You know, I made several attempts to collect this money from him with no success, and I decided I had no choice.
Now I'll hear you, sir.
There was never any talk of a loan, Your Honor. The matter was discussed around about May 11th when I was at an appointment at his salon. He did free haircuts and manicures for me because I was his best friend. We discussed approximately around then. I looked into actually the massage school itself. On May the 17th, I enrolled. I actually have a payment plan agreement with the school from when I enrolled.
Can I see it, please?
Yes, ma'am.
So you agreed to pay the school.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So you had every intention of paying for this career-enhancing service.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Go ahead.
When I started school on June the 7th was actually the first day of school. I had gone in and found that Mr. Kralik had made the $2,000 payment to the school, and we had a small discussion after that about him going in and doing it. He did it before I actually made it to class that day, and he said that this was just something he did for friends. He assisted friends in this manner.
He didn't say to you something like, you know, when you have a tuition plan at the school, you have to pay them a certain time. But I figure if I gave you this $2,000, we can have a more flexible repayment schedule, you know, when you get clients or when you get
No,
back
ma'am,
into
the school
business.
was very flexible with their payment plans, but I had $15,000 worth of closings coming up in the next couple of months, which I could have actually paid the school and had every
Fine.
intention.
That's very nice. Now, and you're no longer friends.
No.
And you had this $15,000 from your real estate coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you feel it would be appropriate, if you had all intentions of paying for the school, sir, to give him back the money that he invested?
He, on several occasions, had held it above my head in arguments.
He held it over your head in
Anytime.
arguments. But like what?
Anytime there was an argument, he'd always say, well, I paid for your massage school. And I had actually voiced to him, well, then on my next closing, I will give you the money back. That
Yes.
way, you'll just leave me alone and not bother
Right.
me anymore with it. And he had told me on those several occasions he would not cash those checks. I told him I knew who he borrowed the money from, and I would go write the check directly to him.
So are you telling me, Mr. Killen, that the plaintiff borrowed money, because he didn't have the $2,000 in cash, to give it to you for school tuition, because you didn't have the money at the time, but you were expecting $15,000 in within a couple of weeks? Is that what you're telling me?
Correct, ma'am.
You're some piece of work, Mr. Killen.
He has never requested payment. He's never asked for any
Well,
payment
what do you
on
think
this.
he's doing
There was
here?
never any
you think
establishment
he's
of a
doing?
loan.
I'm speaking. You think he's here, sir, because he wants to ask me out on a date?
I think he's here
He's
because
here because he wants his $2,000.
I think he's here because this is another of his vindictive actions. He does this to everyone.
Well,
And I even have a witness to testify to his vindictive actions.
To you?
To his vindictive
To
actions
you?
towards me, yes.
Tell me your name.
My name's Chris.
Chris, you have a last name.
Eddie.
How do you know him?
I don't know Mr. Kralik. The only time I met him was when I was assisting Donnie from moving from his apartment into the condo that he had purchased.
And?
There was discussion while we were at the condo. Mr. Kralik made the comment that he wouldn't make Mr. Killen go through the property management to get his deposit back if they were still friends. We had to...
Just a second. If they were still friends, he wouldn't make Mr. Killen go through the property manager to get his deposit back.
Right.
Okay, that's the vindictive testimony that you wanted me to hear? I just want to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, good. Mr. Killen, you're a big boy. Take care of your obligations. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
There was never a loan. He's just vindictive, and that's the reason we're here.
I'm very pleased with her verdict. I think justice won.
He was very violent. He threw a phone at me at one point in time.
I've never been violent. I've never thrown a phone.
Very argumentative.
A pillow, maybe, not a phone.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Dixon versus Gordon. Step forward, please.
26-year-old waitress Tiffany Dixon is suing her ex-boyfriend, barber Charles Gordon, for damages to her car and for a loan to go to barber school.
Miss Dixon, I've read your complaint and I've read your answer, sir. And from what I gather, Mr. Gordon, hopefully, is your ex-boyfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have 2 children together.
Yes, ma'am.
One wasn't enough. You claim that he owes you some money
Yes, ma'am.
because you, in addition to making the mistake of getting involved with him, you loaned him $900, according to you, so that he could attend barber school.
Yes, ma'am.
And then on 2 separate occasions, 2 separate months, you allowed him to drive your car, and your car was damaged while it was in his possession.
Yes, ma'am.
You want him to pay for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gordon says that you are a very, very lucky person to have him in your life, that you adored him, and that's why you gave him the money for barber school, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And he didn't damage your car. One of his other girlfriends may have damaged it, scratched it up while it was in his possession, but he shouldn't be responsible for that because he personally didn't do it, right?
That's right. I don't know if no girl did it or not either.
But somebody else did it while it was in your possession.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
It wasn't Byrd, was it?
Not sure.
Cute. What do you do for a living, Mr. Gordon?
I do it all. You know, from the north to south, east to the west.
He's in Barber College, Your Honor.
He's in Barber College?
I don't need nobody to speak for me. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
When you took the money for barber school, Mr. Gordon, what had you been doing just prior to that?
What I've been doing a lot of things. Making the ends meet, you know. They connecting, you know, real connecting, real good. You know, she gave me one thing. Do a lot of things, you know, just to make ends meet, like I said.
When was the last time you filed tax returns, Mr. Gordon?
File tax returns. I do that every year. Got to do that every year.
When was the last year?
Is it April 15th yet?
What's your social security number? We'll check. Listen to me very carefully. I would like to be able to continue with your case. Unfortunately, I'm not able to communicate reasonably with Mr. Gordon, so he is not able at this time to present a valid, cogent defense to me.
But, I mean, I can just...
He can't answer my question. I mean, I'm asking relatively simple questions, and I'm not able to get from him the answers that I need.
You can talk directly to, you can ask me.
I asked you, sir, I asked you what your social security number was.
Your Honor.
Just, that's what I asked you. That was my question.
I mean, what I would tell my social security number to for?
You say you file tax returns every year. I want to check.
What does tax returns have to do with this?
Because I asked you a question, sir. I said, prior to going to barber school, what did you do? You said you did what you had to do to make ends meet. That's not an answer to my question.
Okay, well, if he want to come over here and get some paperwork,
No.
I might have some paperwork. He can read it.
Do you understand what, Miss Dixon, do you understand what I just said to you? I cannot complete this case.
Your Honor, please.
I can't.
If I can't present my evidence...
You can't present your evidence, Miss Dixon, because I cannot communicate with the defendant. Do you understand? I mean, if this is the way he communicates...
No, he doesn't communicate. I don't know if it's because of television. I don't know what it is, Your Honor.
Television. We on TV?
Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Your Honor, this is case number 538 on the calendar in the matter of Bacon versus Bacon. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. Bacon, what's your first name?
Kevin?
Kevin. This is your dad and your stepmother, and according to what I read in your complaint, you were having some difficulty. And you decided, and your father and stepmother agreed, for you to move in with them, sort of get a fresh start. You did. And you were with them for a period of time. Things didn't work out, and they unceremoniously packed your stuff and put it outside, because according to them, you just weren't following the rules, and there were some problems. Your complaint is that there is still some stuff at their house that belongs to you, including a laptop computer and a stereo. So that's part of your complaint. And the other part of your complaint is that while you were there, you had turned over some cash to your stepmother for her to put in the bank and hold for you. It was $1,000. Some of the money was used, according to you, for car repairs, still leaving $600 in that account. And your father, stepmother say that you knew that that money was being used for things that you needed. They'll tell me what it is, and that money and a lot more is all used up. When did you move in with your father and stepmother?
It was late October, early November sometime.
It was about the middle of October.
Of 2004?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where had you been living just previous to that?
In California with friends and my mother.
Friends and your mother?
Well, I moved around. Like, my mom didn't really want me living with her.
How old are you?
19.
When did you last live with your mother?
2003.
Why did you move out?
I was placed in a group home.
By your mother or by the courts?
By the courts.
On a complaint by your mother or a complaint by police?
Police.
How long did you stay in a group home?
Roughly 18 months.
When you moved in with your father and his wife, Did you have a job?
I got a job, yeah.
Doing what?
Cooking food.
When you moved in, let's start with the property, the stereo, which is the big ticket items that you talk about in your complaint. Did you bring that with you?
No, it was given to me as a gift.
By whom?
My father.
For what?
Christmas.
Tell me about it.
It was wrapped up, and he said, here, Merry Christmas.
Is that right?
No, ma'am. The stereo that I had in our living room was set up for surround sound. At one point in time, it no longer worked, stereo surround. I had talked to Kevin about it, and I said, we're going to get a new one. When I do, I'll move that one up into your room.
The old one?
Yes. Yes, we did buy one at Christmas, but it was addressed to family. It wasn't addressed to Kevin.
Well, that's a different story than buying a new one, Kevin.
It was wrapped and said my name on it.
All right. Tell me about the laptop.
The laptop was given to me as a gift a couple years ago.
By whom?
My grandfather.
That came with you.
Yeah.
Is that right?
No, ma'am. When he first came to my house in October, when I got the email from his mother, Kevin's in jail again, give me a call. I hadn't heard from him in months. He brought one suitcase with him. The laptop was not with him. His mother and grandfather didn't want him to have it. They were afraid he was going to pawn it, and
Where is the laptop?
I mailed it back to his grandfather 3 weeks after I kicked him out.
Well, you probably shouldn't have done that, because if his grandfather made a gift to him of the computer, he can't say, listen to me, he can't at this point attach strings to it, but he doesn't have the computer anymore. Your grandfather has it. Have you been in touch with your grandfather?
I actually called him, and he has not received it. I called my father, actually, and asked him for a tracking number or something so I can get and try to find it.
What's the tracking number?
I have no tracking number, Your Honor. I looked up his grandfather's address on the internet. I addressed it to him.
I don't believe that, sir. When you mailed it back to him, did you call him?
I emailed my ex-wife, yes, ma'am. I didn't want to call him. I'm tired of all the abuse from...
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about his grandfather, Mr. Bacon.
Oh.
Mr. Bacon, let me tell you something. I know when someone's telling me the truth, and I know when someone is not. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You just told me a fib, sir. You just told me a fib about mailing the computer back to Grandpa. That's a lot of baloney. So he's coming to pick up his computer, because I don't want to embarrass you any further. I don't want to embarrass you in front of 10 million people. But you didn't mail the computer back to his grandfather without calling his grandfather and saying, listen, this is the address I have for you that I found on the internet. Is it the right address? I'm going to send it. Here's the tracking number. I'm sending it by UPS, by FedEx, by carrier pigeon. I want you to have it because you didn't want me to give it to Kevin. Do we understand each other, Mr. Bacon?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Good. Now let's talk about the money.
Okay.
You gave $1,000 to your stepmother. How long did you live with your father and your stepmother?
3 months.
And how much money was used up for car repairs?
I have one for $390 for my ignition, and then I have one for my tires, which was $400 and something, but he paid for that, and I wrote him a check out for that.
Okay. You want to explain to me what that other money was used for?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. When I had spoken to Kevin on the phone and his mother, I told him that...
Kevin, don't play with papers.
He was going to have to... my house, my rules. I mean, just like when Rebecca had moved back in, she paid $150 a month rent. She paid for her own phone. And if she went to school while she was living at my house, I would give her that money back. But it's not going to be a free ride. So I told him the rules hadn't changed. You will pay $150 a month rent. You will be expected to do chores around the house. The phone wasn't brought up at first. Between the middle of October and the 1st of January, or 1st of December of 2004, luckily I had free long distance. Kevin made approximately 800 calls to girls in California. That's not counting all the times they called him. So at the time, Rebecca had moved out, and she had her own phone upstairs. The deal was, you take that phone because I'm tired of your girlfriends calling at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Does that sound familiar to you?
This does.
Okay. You take that phone and you pay for it.
Yes, ma'am.
How much was it?
$39.60 a month. Approximately.
For how many months?
November, December, and January.
$120. That sound fair to you?
That's fine.
Now, what about the $150 a month rent, Kevin? Did you agree to pay that to your dad?
I actually did pay that, and that was another thing that I wanted to throw in there, because I paid January 7th, and then he kicked me out. So
January 7th
of 2005.
Yes, and when did he put your stuff out? on the
That
11th?
was January 9th.
No, ma'am, it was January 16th.
Okay.
Okay. So what you're saying is you paid him the $150 every month. Who did you pay it to?
Well, that was the first month he asked me for it.
In January?
Yeah. When I first moved out here, Your Honor, I got a job, and I was making pretty decent money, and I didn't have a bank account or anything, so he said he would hold my money for me. I said, that's fine, it's not a problem. So I gave him my check, he would cash me, anything I needed, that he would buy for me. I said, okay, you know what I mean? I didn't keep track of my money, didn't even care about it. Like, me and my dad were having a good relationship. So I wrote him the check. This is the first check I wrote to him because this is the first bank account I had.
Okay, now before that, sir, is what you're telling me. So for, let's say, 2 months.
Okay.
Let's say 2 months, they were supposed to take the $150 out of the $1,000 that you gave to your stepmother.
No. I didn't give her that $1,000 until the 13th.
Of what?
January. And they kicked me out the 16th.
Oh, shh. Is that right?
That's correct.
Go ahead. What else?
Before he came out, his mother called me and told me he had gotten a tattoo on his chest. 4 numbers. 5150. The LA police call for criminally insane.
Yes.
When he came out, we talked about it, and he decided that he wanted to cover it up.
Yes.
And he would pay me back the $160. Actually, it was $160 plus tax to pay for it.
I'm sure, Your Honor. He said he would pay for it because he wanted. It was like a mutual agreement between all my family wanted me to cover it up, and I was kind of done with it.
What month did you have the tattoo removed?
November, October, November.
You have to give him $477 of the money back, and consider yourself very fortunate that he's gone. Where are you living now?
And I'm renting a room in the same town.
Are you behaving yourself?
Of course.
Of course. Look, Kevin, you're going to get your laptop back and make sure that you use it for only smart things.
Okay.
You know, you try. You're 19. Listen, stop playing with it. I'm lecturing you. So, you know, don't annoy me. I'm lecturing you.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
I was happy to take care of the animal for them, and I was happy to give it back. As I started learning this information about what I just told you with the scarring and how this animal had been abused, I realized that these people were abusers.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kevin Bacon says his father, Anthony Bacon, and his wife, Kathy, owe for the return of a stereo, a laptop, and money they were keeping in a savings account.
You have to find some other way of expressing your individuality, sir, other than by making yourself kooky looking with whatever it is. Tattoos, piercings, doing the wrong thing, you know. You're 19. You're not a baby anymore. You either have a whole life of misery, or you can say, listen, I had a good time. I did a lot of stupid things. Party time is over. It's time to not do anything else to draw negative attention to myself. It's time to move on with my life. Or you can continue to be an idiot. The choice is yours. If you continue to be an idiot, you're going to continue to be an idiot with your laptop that your grandfather gave you and $477 from your bank account. That's the judgment of the court. That's it. Period. Goodbye. Have a happy life.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was more about just trying to get my stuff back. I mean, I thought it would scare him into getting it back.
He wasn't trying to scare me. I think he was led to this by other members of his family.
I'm an 18-year-old boy, and I like to go have fun. They make me come home early, and I mean, it's just try to have a good time.
2 o'clock is not unreasonable, but when you don't come in at 2 o'clock and you come in at 6 o'clock the next evening, that's unacceptable to me.
Well, I understand his house's rules, but he takes it to another level. He tries to control everything.
I think it was very wrong of Kevin to try to hurt his father like this and take advantage of us.
Never knew my dad growing up anyways.
I don't think there's a rift. I love my son. I'll call him when I get home.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lee versus Cole. Step forward, please.
Teacher's assistant Adam Lee is suing his ex-neighbor, lifeguard Jacqueline Cole, for the return of his pet iguana, Xavier. Jacqueline says Adam abandoned his pet.
Mr. Lee, Miss Cole used to be your neighbor,
Yes, ma'am.
and it is your claim that the defendant has your iguana.
Yes, ma'am.
You want it back or the value of it?
I want him back.
She says, A, you abandoned it,
Yes,
and B, she thinks you stole it because she doesn't have it anymore. Miss Cole,
that is right. Also, he was never the owner.
where's the iguana?
I don't know, Your Honor.
For how long?
About 6 weeks.
Okay. So the issue is whether Ms. Cole is responsible for your iguana. So let me find out how she got it. Why don't you tell me about it, sir?
Okay, on May 31st, 2004, me and my girlfriend Jill, we were leaving to go to Canada because her mom was ill. During that time, Xavier got out from the house and went missing.
Xavier is the
iguana.
How big?
He's 4 foot long.
That's a very big iguana.
Yes, ma'am. He's 6 years old.
Okay.
And
he got out.
Yes. And when he went missing, we looked for him that night. We called animal control trying to get them, you know, see if they'd had anybody report an iguana. They didn't, so we stopped looking for him that night. Came back the next morning, looked for him, couldn't find him. Felt that we needed to get on the road to go be with her mom. So when we got on the road, we were there a couple of hours when I got a call from Jacqueline or Phoebe, stating that
Who was that?
Phoebe is Jacqueline's roommate at the time, girlfriend. And
So you knew each other?
Yes, they're
okay.
Next door neighbors. So they stated at that time they would be happy to keep him while we were in Canada, and they would pet sit him. So it was like, okay, we think that was what's best for Xavier. So we decided to let him stay there until we got back.
When did you get back?
I got back in the beginning of January.
So you were gone for 7 months?
Yes, her mom was deemed terminal, so we stayed for longer than necessary. But I have proof where they said they would be happy to keep him as long as we needed him to.
Let me see the proof.
Okay. That's the proof where they said they would keep him as long as we needed him to.
Just a second.
Okay.
Okay. I assume, Ms. Cole, that you did send this that indicates we are happy, that's you and your roommate, to look after him as long as Jill, I assume that's the girlfriend, needs us to. However, he's not going to fit with us long-term due to a trip that we have planned for next year and just general moving around quite a bit before we settle down. Iggy is very loved and seems happy and healthy. He's getting greener, and we would be willing to look after him again, short or long periods in the future. You wrote that.
That's all true. When I first got the animal, he was severely dehydrated, malnourished. He was extremely nervous, defensive. He was a very upset animal, clearly stressed. He has massive scarring on his side. He's missing scales. I'll show you photos.
Can I see the photo, please?
Yes. He's missing 3 scales along his back, and the scarring, it's all indicative that this animal was not properly cared for and was actually abused.
Where did you find him?
After they left, yes, the following morning I stepped outside my door, I looked up, there was the profile of an iguana sitting on the roof. It's exactly where an iguana would be, in the sun, in the open, looking down on what was formerly his home.
Okay.
I was under the impression at that time that they were the owners, and that, yeah, I was happy to take care of the animal for them, and I was happy to give it back. As I started learning this information about what I just told you with the scarring and how this animal had been abused, I realized that these people were abusers. They committed animal cruelty, and it would not be, I could not in good conscience give it back to them.
Well, what made you think that, madam?
Did you see the scars?
I saw, but
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying to me. You don't know, A, when that happened. You don't know whether it happened when he got out.
No, the scars had been there for years.
Okay. Where's Jill?
Jill is in Florida. She's in school. She's in midterms right now.
Are you together?
No, we're separated right now.
Who purchased the iguana?
She did, about 6 years ago. But I've been paying for his care, and he has lived with both of us on the occasions when we've lived
Well,
together.
then, I'm sorry, Mr. Lee. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have wasted so much of
No,
my
ma'am,
time,
I have
sir.
proof that he is in a joint iguana where I've paid for his care.
Mr. Lee, if you had purchased the iguana, I would give you the value of the iguana, what you paid for it, because it's no longer there, maybe. But you didn't pay for it. So how am I to assess what your damages are, Mr. Lee? There is no way for me to assess what your damages are.
I don't want damages. I want the iguana.
She doesn't have it, Mr. Lee.
That's what she's claiming. I think that that's a false.
Well, it may be, but that's what your lawsuit is, Mr. Lee. Your lawsuit says you want the return or value of the iguana. I would be thoroughly prepared if you were the owner of the iguana to say to you, let me see what you paid for it, and I will reimburse you or direct her to reimburse you the value of the iguana. You are not the owner of it, Mr. Lee. Goodbye. Move on with your life, sir. You lived without the iguana for a year.
No,
you lived with it on and off for a year. It's over.
But I'm only asking for the return of the iguana.
Good luck finding him.
Your Honor, this is case number 435 on the calendar in the matter of Oates versus Heenan. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Oates Sr., you weren't there when this incident took place that involved your son, his bike, and Mr. Heenan's car.
Correct.
Sit down. Sit down. You were coming home from the beach, Sean,
Yes.
and you had on your bicycle
Yes.
your surfboard.
Yes. On the rack behind.
I'm looking at both of these diagrams.
Yes.
And what it appears is that, Mr. Heenan, you were making a left-hand turn,
Yes, ma'am.
and you were going straight.
Yes, I was.
And the question is, did the defendant's car hit you,
Yes.
hit your bike, because that's what your diagram says, or did you cross the divider and come into contact with plaintiff's bike, which hit your car on the front passenger side?
Correct.
Because certainly you would both agree that if the damage to your bicycle
Yes.
was in the front and the damage to his car was on the side, you would have hit him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, the damage to his car would have been on the front.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Who's got pictures of the car?
I've got pictures of the car.
I'd like to see it. You mean this little spot right here?
Yep, that'd be it.
Well, that's sort of right on the cusp, isn't it?
I would say more so on the corner.
Well, it's certainly not on the side.
Not directly, no.
When did you see the defendant's car?
I saw him. Can I show you?
Yeah, sure.
I saw him approaching right here. He didn't have his turn signal on or anything. He made a left-hand turn, and I see him. I'm coming down here. I see him. I swerve to the right a little bit. He nicks me, and I go flying off my bike 6 feet. So I hit the edge of his car.
Can I see the police report? Somebody has a police report.
I've got the police report.
I'd like to see it, please. Where had you been surfing?
Huntington Beach Pier.
What time of the day or night did this happen?
Around 4:30.
4:30 in the afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Heenan, I'll hear you.
I was getting off work, and then I was stopped yielding to traffic in the left-hand turn lane, right here, just waiting for oncoming traffic to pass. I proceeded to turn left, and then I didn't see Sean until he struck my vehicle on the right-hand side.
And his vehicle had the right of way because he was going straight, right?
Correct.
I mean, this was an accident.
It was an accident.
Take your hands out of your pockets.
Oh,
It's an
sorry.
accident. It's not an on purpose. It's an accident.
Yes.
So what kind of damages did you have, Mr. Oates?
My bike was bent. Like, you can't even replace the frame because it's bent.
Okay.
And my surfboard was damaged. My wetsuit was damaged in a place in the back of the shoulder right here. And to sew that up, it's in a seam with so much movement, it'll just break again.
Mm-hmm.
My scar, I have a scar right there
Mm-hmm.
from the damage. And my ankle was hurt for a few days because I landed. I was barefooted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Altogether, it was a terrible accident.
Yeah.
Show me where you were when you first saw the defendant's car.
Well, this is a hill coming down here. I was right about probably where this red.
And show me where the defendant's car was.
It was right here.
And did you watch it?
I watched it come, and then I'm coming closer and closer each time. I thought he was going to wait for me, and he soon comes, and I swerve off.
So you
to the
saw
right.
him. So you saw him.
I saw him, yes.
And
I tried to avoid the.
well, you
collision.
could have stopped
Yeah.
if you weren't going too fast, right? Okay, so let me see the bill for your bicycle. So you need a new bicycle
Yep.
because it says it can't be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
My surfboard, it was damaged on the tail. It's a wetsuit. In my wetsuit, I have.
How much did you pay for the wetsuit?
I paid $170.
What else?
And then my scar. He got my scar for the injuries and suffering. That's about it.
Okay, we've got
That's it.
$200 for the new bicycle that Mr. Heenan knows that he's got to pay for. Got $170 for the wetsuit. Did you see a doctor?
No, I did not.
Just got banged up a little bit.
Yes.
When this whole thing happened, what did you do, Mr. Heenan?
Well, as soon as the plaintiff hit the side of my car, I stopped and began to phone the police. And then the police and the ambulance and the fire department came, and I waited around for them. And after the police saw the scene, they came up to me and they saw that I was pretty shooken up because I was pretty upset about the whole deal. So it's not like I do that often. So the police reassured me that it wasn't my fault, or they told me that it was just an accident, and it happens a lot down at the beach with kids riding on their bikes and whatnot. He just got my story and took the account of what happened and then sent me on my way.
Okay. When for the first time did you hear from the plaintiff's father?
Probably about maybe 2-3 weeks later.
Tell me about that conversation.
Well, the first conversation was him asking for pretty much an exorbitant amount of money, which to me was like, it was like $800, because he said his son was like a semi-professional surfer and he had an expensive wetsuit, and his classic Schwinn was like $600 or something like that. He kept asking me for this amount of money, and I told him that I didn't think that was fair, for one, and for two, that I didn't think it was my fault to pay for it. So that was basically the end of the conversation.
Did you hear from him again?
I got a letter in the mail from an acquaintance or something like that, a lawyer friend of his, asking for $1,000 for damages. I disregarded that letter.
You have a copy of the
No.
letter? You have a copy of the letter? I'd like to see it, please. Now you can stand up, Mr. Rhodes. In this letter, this lawyer friend of yours indicates that the matter can be put to rest for $1,000 to replace the bicycle and compensate Sean for his injuries. So can you explain to me, sir, how come you're suing for almost $5,000?
Well, it was because of Mr. Heenan's attitude. Every time I spoke to him, he said he was going to do nothing. I spoke to him 3 or 4 times, and each time he hung the phone up on me. The last time I called him, I said, you've got to be accountable for your actions. What do you want to do about this? He said, well, my attorney says to do nothing. And he says, have a nice day, and he hung up the phone on me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You put a figure on it for me, Mr. Heenan.
As far as pain and suffering?
Yeah.
Kids our age get a lot of scars, I think.
But this one is your fault.
And later today,
he told her to call 911. Police got there. We both explained our stories.
What story? She was drying her hair. You shot through her window. What kind of story is that?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 16-year-old Sean Oates says he was riding his bike home from the beach when he was struck by Corey Heenan's car. Corey says it was Sean who ran into him.
You still didn't explain to me why the difference of $4,000 between the original lawyer's request and the request that you're making of this court today.
Well, Sean went through a lot. It's very traumatic for him. He's got a permanent scar on his arm.
He doesn't look like he's so traumatized, Mr. Rhodes.
He was at the time.
Mr. Rhodes, how many times has he been injured surfing?
A few times, but
right.
that's his own fault.
Well, this was partially his fault, too.
This accident didn't happen like he said it did. The bicycle was bent on the crank in the middle of the bicycle.
Your son just testified before me, Mr. Oates, that he saw the car as it was making a turn, and he thought it was going to stop.
Yes, well, Sean was in the bike lane.
And I'm telling you that if I'm riding a bicycle, and if I'm a prudent bicycle rider, if I see a car starting to make a turn, but I thought that they were going to stop, and he's driving a big car, and I'm on a bicycle, I would have stopped my bike if I wasn't going too fast.
It happened so quick.
Of course it did, because it was an
accident,
Mr. Rhodes. Not something that you get all hot and bothered over, especially when your son walks away from this accident who was probably driving a little too fast on his bicycle home from the beach with a couple of scrapes. So far, I've heard damages in the amount of $370, and that is exclusive of the injuries that he sustained. That is worth something, and I'm certain, Mr. Heenan, that if you had that kind of bruise on your arm, were knocked off a bike, were injured, and let's say you were out of sorts for a week or so, how much would you think that was worth?
I don't know if I could put a figure on it as far as what I would be
How about
asking
a
for.
scar?
Kids our age get a lot of scars, I think.
Sure, but this one is your fault.
It's mutual.
More yours.
Okay.
He had the right of way. So I'm asking you, put a figure down for me, if it were you.
If it was for me, I don't know, maybe some lunch and some resting or something. I don't know.
Well, I think it's probably worth a little more than that. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $870. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, it's a question that young people driving a Mercedes have to be accountable.
If I was in a lesser expensive vehicle, I don't think we would be here right now.
I surf every day, every weekend, and surf team every morning, so I had to miss out on some.
I didn't think it was worth the value that he put on it in the first place.
I thought he needed to be taught a lesson. There's nothing to do with money.
I wasn't worried about the damages to my car. I could care less, but I just wanted to make sure that he was okay.
I noticed him just going, oh, I'm so sorry, but that's all I got out of him.
You know, he could have been killed quite easily.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Uslaker versus Choi. Step forward, please.
Mohan and Renee Uslaker are suing their neighbor, 19-year-old Daniel Choi, for shooting at their house with a BB gun. Daniel claims he wasn't aiming at their house.
How old are you, sir?
19, Your Honor.
How long have you lived next to these folks?
About 7 years, Your Honor.
You think you're an easy neighbor?
Yes.
Do
I
you?
think I'm an easy neighbor to get along with.
Do you think he's an easy neighbor?
No.
Absolutely not. Not according to what you say in your complaint. And there's been some history from when you were a little kid.
Yeah, younger juvenile, yes.
According to you, you had a protective order
Yes.
against him?
Yep.
That's not about this case.
Correct.
This case is about Mr. Choi, you damaging their home with a BB gun.
Yes. Accident.
Tell me when this happened, Mr. Choi.
November 7, 2004, I was in my backyard shooting my
Who do you live with?
I live with my grandparents.
Are they nice people?
Yes, very nice.
You have brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Do they live with your grandparents?
They did, but they moved.
Is that
They moved
because
out.
they're older than you are?
Yes.
And you've stayed at home to sort of make your grandparents' older years happy and comfortable.
Yes, yes.
So you're in your backyard of your grandparents' house. And what are you doing?
I was shooting my BB gun.
Where were you shooting it?
I was intended for the ground, but
That's no fun, Mr. Choi. Look, at these people are laughing at you. Nobody shoots a BB gun in the ground, Mr. Choi.
well, I wasn't intending to shoot their house.
Nobody shoots a BB gun in the ground. So start out by telling me the truth. What were you doing with the BB gun?
Well, I set up some targets. There's a fence in between my neighbor's house and my house.
You set up targets. Now we're getting to it. What kind of targets did you set up?
Pop cans.
You see, we start from the ground. We're all the way to the top.
yeah.
We're at ground up. What did you put the cans on?
A wooden stump.
And you were shooting.
Yes.
And what did you hear?
We heard a crash. I was blow drying my hair and I heard a crash in the back room.
And you found?
Found a hole about the size of a BB gun in the window, in the back bedroom window, and shatters going out from the hole.
So?
He came around the side of the fence, asked me to come towards him, and I asked him for what. He said, because you shot my window. So I walked over to him, and he showed me his window, and I said it was an accident. You know, I didn't intend to shoot your window.
I was just being stupid.
Pretty much, yes. And his wife came around. He told her to call 911, and police were called. Police got there. We both explained our stories.
What story? She was drying her hair. You shot through a window. What kind of story is that?
And he gave them two options. One, to take me to jail. Two, to if we can go to small claims court and I can make payments. I sent him a $20 payment in the mail. It got returned to me in this envelope. And next thing I know, I'm getting a settlement in the mail for $3,000.
Go ahead.
Well, we never did receive payment from Mr. Choi. We never received any kind of envelope from Mr. Choi.
Can I see what you say that you sent, sir? No, the whole thing.
The whole
All together now.
This is actually a bill also that came in the envelope. That's one of the bills. I have the other bill here.
Just a minute. Well, I don't see any money in here. Did you send him a bill?
Yes, I did.
When did you allegedly, sir, send this $20 payment?
It was about 3 days before I got the envelope.
3 days before you got this one.
Yes. I sent it in the mail to his house by U.S. mail because the first one I got said send it by like a cashier's check by
Correct.
the mail by U.S.
So let
mail.
me see the cashier's check.
It wasn't a cashier's check, it was a money order.
Well,
When
you
he
have a
sent-
copy of a money order.
No, they would not give that to me, sir. Your Honor.
You have a copy of a money order. Whenever you get a money order, you get a copy, you get a stub.
Yes, he sent the whole money order back to me.
Well, show me.
I returned it to the store and they didn't have any records of it.
Baloney. So how much is it going to cost to fix your window and the siding?
The total estimate is $200.
Well, you're suing him for a lot more than $200. Tell me why.
Absolutely. We've had a long history, who I'll refer to as this young man, but he was a juvenile delinquent since we moved in 1996.
So you're suing him for your stress.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. Punitive damages is what we're suing for, to try to teach him a lesson.
What you agreed to with the police was to payment for the damage that he did to your home.
True.
And if he had paid that, we would not be here today.
That is true.
The story that he's telling me is that he made a good faith payment, but I don't believe him because he has no proof that he made a good faith payment. And that's very easy to get.
I have a witness here that was with me at the store that I bought the money order from. She was with me when I got the money order, and she was with me when I mailed it out. It's my girlfriend, Nicole.
If you were to stand up here, Nicole, that's what you would tell me. I didn't ask you to stand up. I said if you were to stand up here, that's what you would tell me, right? Baloney. And why would you make a $20 payment?
It's the only money I had at the time, Your Honor.
Why?
Well, I was working, and I quit my job.
Why?
I was unemployed.
Why would you quit your job?
Well, my grandfather is not in good health. My grandma can't really watch over him, so I have to watch over my grandfather.
In between acting like a jerk.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, right. Mr. Choi, you take your girlfriend out?
No, Your Honor.
You mean you just hang around with her?
Yes.
When?
Just about every day.
Where?
My house and her house.
When you're at her house, get a job. See, when you're at her house, you're not helping out your grandmother or your grandfather. You're just helping yourself out. You don't have time for a girlfriend, according to what you tell me. You're too busy taking care of your grandmother and your grandfather and getting a job so that you can pay off your debts and responsibilities, not hanging out with Nicole. You got me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, right. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $200. That's all. Step back.
Parties are excused. You may step out. In the matter of Sands versus Azarovich. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks have seats.
Mr. Sands, the defendant is the girlfriend of your former landlord.
Correct.
And it is your claim that during an argument that took place really between your landlord and you, that the defendant assaulted you, caused you substantial injury, caused you to be seen by a doctor, caused you substantial pain and suffering, and you want to be compensated for that.
Correct.
Ms. Esarovich, is your boyfriend here today?
Yes.
Is that this gentleman right here?
Yes.
Okay. You had been a tenant of his for some time. There had been some problems. You wanted the place painted because you said there was paint chipping. He wasn't responsive to your request. You called the housing department. He was forced to paint. You say in retaliation to that, they moved to have you evicted. You ultimately won a settlement from them. So far, is that generally what happened?
Yes.
Now, the garage space had become an issue. Is that right, Mr. Sands?
Yes.
This is when this altercation took place. Now, Mr. Sands, why don't you tell me the date that this incident took place?
It was on September 7th of 2001.
And tell me what happened.
Miss Esarovich and Mr. Evanson approached the gate of the yard leading into my house. I was outside and I asked them if there was something I could do to help them, and they didn't answer, but they proceeded to go into the garage, which was part of the property that I had been renting for in excess of 4 years.
Well, do you have a lease?
I do.
And does the lease include the garage?
It wasn't specified.
If it's not specified, it doesn't include the garage.
However, I had been in full use of the garage for the entire term of my tenancy without sharing it with any other tenants.
Listen, if you have a lease that says that you are renting a house and there is another property on that land, some other edifice, and if it's not specified that you have use of that your rent also includes that, you're not entitled to it. In any event, they came on the property that you were renting in order to deal with this garage issue. Let's proceed from there.
Okay, well, they proceeded to walk into the garage. I didn't know what they were doing because they hadn't responded to me when they came into the yard. So I followed them into the garage and I asked them what they were doing. And they told me that they were looking at their garage. And I said that you need to have given me 24 hours of written notice to, examine the property.
It's not your property. Garage is not your property. They didn't go into your house, did they?
Well, they went into something that I viewed as being included in the
That's your view. That's your view. That's not their view. That's not my view. They don't have to give you written notice of going and looking at their property. What if there was a guest house on your property? A guest house on the property?
According to the officials that I spoke to
I'm telling you, I don't believe that.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Sure.
They went to look at their property.
Okay. And I told them that I would have to call the police, which I then did. I went back into the house, and at that point I asked Emily, who's a friend of mine who had showed up to go to this yoga class with me, to bring me out my regular phone. At that point, I dialed 911 on the regular phone. The police came eventually onto the phone. At that point, the landlord and this woman came out of the garage. She saw Emily standing near the house and started screaming at her.
What was she saying?
She said, "Who is this woman? She is not allowed to be on the property. She is not on your lease. Where are your wife and children? And you are a liar," and et cetera, et cetera. At that point, I walked up and stood between the two of them and said, "She is allowed to be on the property. She's my guest, and you can't come and scream at a guest of mine.
Absolutely right.
You need to leave. This is inappropriate." At that point, I felt my arms pulled behind me like this, and I realized that it was the landlord, Mr. Evanson, who had grabbed me from behind. He then pulled my shirt up around my neck and through my mouth and started strangling me. At that point, I became relatively concerned, and I started screaming for help. I continued to scream for help until I couldn't speak anymore. He choked me so forcefully.
Could we move this on a little faster, please?
Sure.
Good.
After that, Mila walked up, and I assumed that she was going to tell him to let me go. But she didn't. She stood at a 45-degree angle to me, and she kicked my right knee in.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what this suit is based on.
Okay. Now, I want you to tell me your version of the events, and please try to do it a little faster.
Okay, this is on the date of September 7, at 6 o'clock approximately. Okay, well, before
Just, you get there.
Okay.
You go into the garage.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, Mr. Sands, he closed the door behind us and turned the lights off and left us in the dark.
Go ahead.
His dog was viciously barking at us.
Where was the dog?
The dog was by his side.
Was the dog on a leash?
No.
Go ahead.
Then he approached me and started threatening me.
What did he say?
Well, he approached me as close like that, to my face, and started threatening me and screaming.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I never kneed him in the groin.
Just a minute. What do you mean you may have injured him?
I was trying to escape by elbowing him.
I think that's a crock who shot John.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Charles Sands says his former landlord's girlfriend, Mila Azarovich, assaulted him by kicking him in the knee. Mila says Charles kicked her fiancé in the groin.
Go ahead.
Then Lars was concerned about my safety. He circled his arms around Charles Sands.
From the back?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And he's very experienced in this kind of situation, how to handle it in non-violent manner.
He circled him, he immobilized him.
Right.
Go ahead.
At that moment, Charles Sands kicked him in the groin area very hard. The next moment, Charles Sands took a bat in his hand and hit Lars in his face, then in his ribs, and Lars fell on the concrete floor. Rick Sanchez came out. He tried to pull them.
Who is Mr. Sanchez?
Is
he a neighbor?
Yes.
Would you step up, sir?
Sure.
You're Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
How long have you been a tenant?
10 years.
Did you witness any of this altercation?
I did.
Would you tell me what you saw, sir?
On that evening, approximately the same time that both of them mentioned, I had been traveling. I came home, I was laying on my couch, and I heard some screams for help, 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 help.
Male voice, female voice?
It was a male voice. It was a male voice. And knowing that Chuck lives in the back, I didn't know if a vehicle had fallen on him or whatever the case was. And I went to the back bedroom, looked out the window. And when I looked out the window, I saw Mr. Evanson had Mr. Sands around the neck from behind with his shirt around his neck and was holding him, not allowing him to move. I decided to go outside. I went out and I told Mr. Evanson, you don't want to do this, let go of Chuck, let's stop this, at which time he did. Mila was out there also at the time, and of course there was some screaming and yelling and what have you. And he let go of Chuck, and I think I mentioned to Chuck's girlfriend to call the police. I don't know if she already had or not, but I said, call the police. And I went back in the house, and when I went back in the house, I heard some more commotion, so I came back out. Mr. Evanson and Mr. Sands were at separate ends of the yard, and at which time I said, this needs to stop. And I think Mila at that point had forced Lars out the back gate, and they exited the property.
Did you see either of these two gentlemen injured in any way?
No, I did not.
Didn't see him injured?
I didn't see him injured.
And you didn't see him injured?
I did not.
Did you hear either one of them complain about being injured?
No, I did not.
Didn't limp? You didn't see him limp?
I didn't notice.
He didn't say anything to you? I'm injured,
He
call
did
an
not say-
ambulance?
he did not say anything to me.
Call an ambulance, I need medical attention?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. What kind of property is this, Mr. Sanchez?
It's a rental property that has a rental above. I live on the bottom floor, and then in the back there is another residence there, which is where Mr. Sands lives.
And what about this garage? Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, it's a removed area. You have the back part of the house, and then probably 5 to 8 feet there's a garage there.
Who uses that garage?
I really never knew. I don't know.
You don't use it?
I do not use it, no.
Do you have a lease?
I do.
Does your lease provide for use of any garage space?
No, it does not.
Did you ever have occasion to call the Board of Health or anyone else with regard to the property and its being in unsafe condition?
I never made a call like that, no.
Thank you. Have a seat. Okay, so you got kicked in the knee, Mr. Sands. Let's hear the rest.
So she kicked me in the knee.
That's what you told me. And this was on the 7th of September?
Yes.
Can I see the medical reports, please? By the way, tell me about the settlement that you won when you sued them. How many times have you sued them?
No, I didn't actually sue them. What happened was I had complained about lead-based paint that was flaking off of the house and had been doing that for basically the entire term of my tenancy. I have 2 small children, and I was very concerned about this. I told them that I was going to have to complain to the city. They said, do whatever you want, and I did that. The city came out, issued them an order to comply, and within a week they filed to evict me.
Repainted. Oh, they filed to evict you?
Right. The only grounds that they could use if I hadn't done anything wrong, they said that they were going to move into my house.
Okay.
So within a week of them receiving this order to comply, they had filed to evict me.
Go ahead.
We were involved in this eviction process wherein they tried to say that my children didn't live with me, et cetera, et cetera.
Do they live with you?
Yes, they do. They were attempting to do that so that they wouldn't have to pay me the full relocation fee, which is required by the Rent Control Board. After several court appearances, they settled for a relocation sum that was considerably larger than they would have had to pay in the first place.
Which is what?
$5,000 is the amount that a family is entitled to for relocation.
Is that what you got?
No, actually I got in the neighborhood of $8,000.
That sounds pretty good.
Well, considering
Let me
that
ask you this question. Diagnostic impression here is that you have, other than one knee contusion, and you went to the doctor, I see, a day later, not that day. So you weren't feeling too badly that day. You went a day later. You have mild something strain, right shoulder abrasion, mild soft tissue trauma to the neck, okay? So you take a little aspirin. Since none of the last three of these injuries is attributed to the defendant, but attributed to the landlord. I'm curious as to why you chose to sue her instead of him.
Well, as I was being assaulted, let me continue.
No, just answer my question. You answer my question.
Okay, there's two reasons. First of all, I don't believe that Mr. Evanson is fully responsible for his actions. He has had some brain injury in the past, and I think he may be being manipulated by this woman. Secondly, as I was trying to escape, in my struggle, I may have injured him. However, I never kneed him in the groin.
Just a minute. What do you mean you may have injured him? How may you have injured him, sir?
As he was choking me from behind. He's considerably taller than I am.
I see that.
I was trying to escape by elbowing him. So I may have injured him.
So it's a fair statement, so that the reason you didn't sue him and chose to sue her, you felt that he may have a defense of self-defense, and she had none.
No, not precisely.
Yeah. Would you step up, please? Tell me your name.
My name is Emily Gray.
Where do you live, Miss Gray?
I live in Newport Beach.
Okay. Tell me what your relationship is with Mr. Sands.
I'm a good friend of Mr. Sands.
Do you know his wife?
Yes, I do.
What's her name?
Anne.
Where does Anne live?
She lives in San Pedro as well. I don't know the exact location.
But she doesn't live with Mr. Sands?
Not presently.
That is correct. She does not live with Mr. Sands.
She does not live with him now.
And she was not living with him in September of 2001?
She might have just moved out.
Right. Now, how old are Mr. Sands' two children?
His son is about 14 and his daughter is about 7.
And who do those children live with?
They live with him.
They live with him, and they were living with him in September of 2001 after his wife moved out?
Yes.
Does he have permanent custody of those children?
I don't know exactly the details. They spend weekends with their mothers. Otherwise, they're mainly at his house.
Where do they go to school from?
What do you mean from?
Where do they go to school from? From your house?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Right.
Okay. Do you have joint custody of the children?
My son and my daughter are from two different marriages.
Do you have joint custody of your children, sir?
I have primary custody of my son, and there is no actual paperwork because we're only separated. My daughter's mom and I are only separated.
They still get along. I mean, you and your ex-wife still get along.
My daughter's mom and I get along pretty well. And
I'm not interested in that, whether you still get along pretty well or not. I'm just interested in why somebody gave you $8,000 to move.
Because it was established that the kids live with me.
You're on the rules.
Now, was he treated for any injuries that he sustained that day?
Yes.
You have the medical report on that?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
He saw that his tooth was knocked out. So I just...
All right, and his diagnosis is groin contusion, facial contusion, and prescription is ice and Motrin in the evening for pain. So you were right, Mr. Sands. You did injure him. Did he sue you?
No.
Why do you think that is, sir?
Because any injuries that he sustained were due to self-defense on my part. He attacked me from behind. And he...
You think you both behaved badly that day?
No, I don't. I don't believe I behaved badly. I tried to escape.
If you tried to escape, sir,
Yeah.
you had already gotten outside of the garage. You went inside to get a telephone.
None,
You went inside. Pay careful attention to me, sir.
Okay.
You went inside to get a telephone before anything happened to call 911. And you said you walked outside. Now, if you wanted to diffuse a situation before anything happened, you stay inside, you call 911.
Actually, I was concerned that they might do something strange in my garage. We were at that point embroiled in a bitter eviction matter. I didn't know what they were capable of.
Well, Mr. Sands, I know this, sir. I know
So I was keeping an eye on
they paid
them.
you $8,000 in order to get you and your children, who were there sometimes and not there other times, to move. And I know that this gentleman, who you described as someone who may not be functioning optimally because of some injury, was more injured than you were that day. That I know for sure from reading the medical records. And you said that the reason you didn't sue him is because you felt sorry, because you didn't think that perhaps he understood everything that was going on. And I think that that's a crock of who shot John. I think that the reason you didn't sue him is because his injuries were more severe than yours. And if he got kicked in the shins by his girlfriend, so be it. You got $8,000 from them. You're not getting another.
Quite welcome. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Ms. O'Neill, you and the defendant were engaged to be married, and according to your complaint, the defendant used your credit cards. You had not given him permission to use the credit cards, and he racked up bills in excess of $5,000.
Correct.
The defendant says that he had the right to use your credit cards. You had given him permission.
Correct.
You have a counterclaim, sir, that it's a whole potpourri of stuff. You claim that you put a lot of money in a truck that she kept and some other stuff, which you will explain to me later. Ms. O'Neill, when were you and the defendant living together?
He moved in late September.
And tell me about the credit cards.
The credit cards are in my name and my name only. The credit cards had a zero balance, and I took the defendant once to go shopping for his children for Christmas presents. I was aware of that, and I'm not disputing those charges. And we also had put a down payment on my ring on that same credit card. He said it was his responsibility, and so when the statement came, he would make the payment directly to the credit card company. He'd give the envelope to me sealed, and I would mail it from my place of business, and so on and so forth.
He took the bill sealed?
He took the bill, he sealed and I'm assuming opened it to pay it, but I never.
But you never opened the bills?
I didn't see the bill because, again, it was his responsibility because it was presents for his children and, again, for the deposit on the ring. I didn't see the statement because I had nothing on there at that time. And, Your Honor, I really do feel like this matter was something that was brought forth premeditated. I think that he...
Okay, so let's get to the story, and then we'll discuss whether it was premeditated or not.
Okay. I had the credit cards put safely in my bedroom because I was not going to be...
Well, so far you had one credit card that he used. What about the... You said
right.
Now you had
There's
another
a second
credit card
that had gotten mailed to me that I did not use anything for. We took one trip to Tahoe that we did use. And again, I'm not disputing those charges. We charged about $150 that weekend. So what had happened was I placed the Visa in the headboard of the bed, and then when the MasterCard came, I also put it with that as well.
When did you discover that there were excessive balances on the credit card?
On March 27th, I received a notice that there was a certified letter at the post office waiting for Jason that was for a storage unit that I had had my bed in that had all of his other belongings in it. So I was a little suspicious because obviously it wasn't a Christmas card, it was probably an eviction, and that means that he was back a couple months. So I confronted him that evening, and I asked him, how are we doing on the bills in general, my ring, the storage, little things like that. He said, oh, honey, we're caught up, we're fine, and he also got offended that I would even ask him something like that. So he was at that point lying to my face. So that morning when he left for work on the 28th, I went through a side of his bed that there were drawers that he kept a number of receipts and tax return information. When I found the credit card statement, I noticed that I also found forged receipts that have my name forged in his handwriting, and also a lot of the receipts in his possession matched my credit card statements with an outrageous balance. So
what was the balance?
The balance on the credit card was almost $6,000. That was the Visa, and the MasterCard was about $1,500.
You have those statements?
Yes.
I'd like to see them, please.
Did you want to see the forgeries too?
Yeah.
Okay. These are the receipts, and then these are some information along with my copies of my time card as to...
No, just give me the receipts, please, and the balance that you found on each of the cards. Am I correct that there were some cash withdrawals as well?
Correct. And I've never made a cash withdrawal, and I don't know how he got the PIN, but my name's Aaron, and he had commented once before that he had called for insurance purposes on the truck, that he used my name, Aaron, and he thought it was kind of humorous that he could get information using my name. And so I'm assuming he might have used that method to obtain a PIN number because I don't know my PIN. I've never used cash advance.
Did you ever get a PIN number yourself?
I never received one myself. I don't know if one was ever mailed or, because I don't use that. And Your Honor, on a lot of the forgeries too, he's misspelled my name, so.
Okay, your turn.
Okay. Your Honor, I have some proof here, some letters here showing that she did give me permission to use the credit cards.
Mr. Valley, let's start from the beginning, sir. I want you to start with where you got the credit cards from, when you took them out and used them and signed her name.
Your Honor, I used the credit that she gave me the credit cards to hold in my wallet. There was nothing in, no coverage or nothing like that. She gave them to me when we go out at night. and stuff like that. She didn't want to carry a purse, so she gave me her driver's license and her credit cards. Sometimes she'd have a little too much to drink or something like that, and we're checking out, okay, and it's like, you know, we're signing away, and she'll say, just sign the credit card. I didn't think this was a problem. I had no idea. I always had the credit cards in my possession because when I first met her, she used to keep her credit cards in the freezer in a bowl of water, okay, because she had using the credit cards too much. She racked up bills and stuff like that.
Yes.
When I first moved in, you know, she says, okay, you know, pay a minimum rent, you know, here's my credit cards, you pay off your credit cards, okay, and she says, well, you know, I have a better interest rate that let's use my credit cards when we need them, as long as you pay me back. And I was making the payments, I
Just a
was paying
minute.
them back.
There we go. As long as you pay me back.
Yes.
Okay. You see, you keep talking. Sometimes if I let you keep talking, and you stick both feet in your mouth. So, you acknowledge, sir, let me take your best case scenario, that you used her credit cards, but the agreement was you would pay for those credit card bills.
Correct.
So why didn't you pay them?
I was paying. I have proof here that I was paying them every month.
How much were you
Okay,
paying?
I was paying $140 a month.
So therefore, Mr. Valley, you acknowledge that you owe her $5,000.
No.
Well, explain that to me, sir.
Because
either you took the credit cards, pay attention to what you just said. Either you took the credit cards, as she says, without her permission, or you had her permission, but your agreement was that you would be paying a minimal rent and you would take care of all the charges on the credit cards. That's what you just told me a moment ago. So explain to me why you don't owe her $5,000.
I was to take full responsibility what I put on the credit cards, Your Honor.
That's not what you told me, sir.
Well, that's
I mean,
what
how
I
does that work out? You order 2-egg roll, you pay for yours and you don't pay for hers?
No, Your Honor.
You put gas in the car, you split that down the middle. How does that work?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Chevy pickup, when we purchased it, it was bone stock.
No, I purchased the truck. He has credit worse than a 2-year-old.
And later today,
I apologized and I told her I was late on the payment and that I would get to it. She...
Talk. Did you make March's payment?
No.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Aaron O'Neill says ex-fiancé Jason Valley forged her signature to make unauthorized credit card charges. Jason says he had permission.
Go ahead.
If you look on the credit card statements, it shows her charges, then my charges. Her charges, then my charges.
I'm talking about your charges, which are in excess of $5,000, sir. Not her charges, the charges that you made, whether it be for gas or restaurants or anything else. Now, are you telling me now that your agreement was that you would split those charges 50-50?
We never had that agreement, no.
So your agreement was that you were supposed to pay the credit cards?
For my charges, yes.
Right. All right. So we just took care of that. Give a guy long enough and he always just gets right in there. All right, Mr. Valley, now let's get to your counterclaim, sir. Let's start with this truck that you say she owes you money for.
Back in October, we purchased a 98 Chevy extended cab four-wheel drive together. Okay, my financing wasn't going to be the greatest. She said, let's put it in my name, we'll get a cheaper finance rate. The Chevy pickup, when we purchased it, it was bone stock. It was no add-ons, no nothing. I purchased lift kit, all kinds of accessories, and when we broke up, she came to my shop saying, I want the truck. I said, that's not a problem. I will take my stuff off, I will put your tires back on, do whatever has to be done. No, I want it now. I said, well, I'd like to have my property. And she says, no, take me to court.
Yes.
Okay. We purchased the truck? No. I purchased the truck. He has credit worse than a 2-year-old. I purchased the vehicle myself.
Who's making the payments on the truck?
He was making the payments on the truck, which I also show that he was also delinquent on the payments for the truck. So I had to pay $500 just to get current when all of this happened.
Who's making payments on the truck now?
He was. Oh, I am.
Now?
Oh, I am.
Okay, is the truck in your name?
Yes, always has been.
Did you ever make an arrangement with him that he would be reimbursed for any additions or any modifications that he put on the truck?
No.
All right. Now let's leave the truck for a minute. Did you enter some sort of a contest with him?
Yes.
All right. And that's the last part of your counterclaim, sir, that she owes you for half the prizes that were awarded to you as a couple from this dream wedding contest, which turned out to be not a dream wedding.
Nightmare.
So tell me about that.
We won gift certificates to different places like jewelry stores, and it was like $3,000 in gift certificates.
Okay. You want to respond?
Yes, Your Honor. The total for the gift certificates retail face value was $3,305. None of the gift certificates have been used. I have sold about half of them in retail value, and I have had $1,200 from those gift certificates, and I'm also showing that...
Show it to him, as a matter of fact, first, before you give it to me.
And I also have the original entry showing that it's all in my handwriting and my effort that was placed forth, and again, my effort to sell.
But you won as a couple?
Correct.
All right, and you sold some of them, is that right?
Right, and the ones I have remaining that I did not sell actually equal $50 greater value than the profit that I made on the ones I sold, and I'm more than welcome to hand them over to him now.
Okay. Mr. Valley, you want the other half of the gift certificates?
That's fine, Your Honor.
Give them to him. Perfect.
There's the photographer, $955, the caterer for $250, and then 2 vacations. One has a retail value of $475, and the other's unmarked, but I'm assuming is
whatever. That's what he wants. He wants to sell it or he wants to use it. All right. Now I think that we have resolved this matter. Mr. Valley, you owe $5,000 for the charges that you put on her credit cards that, according to you, you were supposed to pay for. According to her, you stole. I take your word for the fact that you had a permission, but you agreed to pay for them, so you owe $5,000. The vacation packages and the photographer, you have half the value of the gift certificates. As far as the truck is concerned, I find that there was never an agreement that you would be reimbursed for anything that you put in the truck. The truck is in her name. She is currently paying for the truck, so for the truck you get nothing. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $5,000. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He really thought he was sneaky and that he would get away with stealing forever.
It's her word against mine.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ritchie versus Morales. Step forward, please.
Salesperson Tammy Ritchie is suing her sister, nurse's assistant Tristine Morales, for the unpaid balance on a car loan. Tristine says Tammy repoed the vehicle, so she's not paying.
Miss Ritchie, the defendant is your sister.
Yes.
According to what I read, your sister needed a car. She didn't have good enough credit, so you co-signed a car loan for her.
Yes.
When was that?
January of 2001.
What kind of car was purchased?
The 2001 Toyota Echo.
And what was the amount of the car loan?
Just over $13,000.
And I assume your arrangement with your sister was that she would make the car payments.
Yes.
And maintain the insurance on the car. According to your complaint, she didn't do that. You repossessed the car. You took the car back from her. And now you feel as if she should pay you at least $5,000, which is the maximum allowed in this court, because you're stuck with the car and the payments. Is that what this case is about?
Yes.
Okay. And your sister says she doesn't have the car, so she doesn't see why she should make the payments. What were the monthly payments on the car?
$296.
When did you repossess the car?
April of 2001. She had not made any payments on it, so I had talked to her first.
When was the first payment due?
I believe in February.
Did you make February's car payment of $296?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
I was behind in bills, and
you have no reason.
The first payment that I was supposed to make, I was behind, and it was late, and I had told my sister I apologized that it was late, and that I would take care of it as soon as possible on my next paycheck.
Did you finally pay that car payment?
No.
What about March? And
No.
I'll ask you for proof of all of these things. So in March, you didn't make
No,
car
I didn't
payment.
have the car in March at all.
You had the car in April.
She had taken the car away from me.
No, she took the car back in April.
No, she took the car away twice. The first time was in March.
Then she gave it back to you.
She gave it back to me after I had went, and I apologized, and I told her I was late on the payment and that I would get to it, and she...
Talk. Did you make March's payment?
No.
And then you took the car back in April?
Yes. Not
okay. Now, you don't have to say anything else. Your sister's a deadbeat. I mean, what do you want?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tammy Ritchie says her sister, Tristine Morales, owes for a car loan. Tristine says Tammy repoed the car prematurely.
What kind of track record did your sister have with you that would have said to you this was a smart thing to do?
Well, it's my sister, and I wanted to help her. She had the 2 kids. She has a job. She said she couldn't get to work, and she was having problems.
So she needed a brand new car?
I wanted to get her a reliable car, something that she'd have the kids in, something that she can go to work in.
How is she getting to work now?
She bought a car.
Really? When did you buy a car?
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Really? What did you use for money?
My income tax return.
What kind of car did you buy?
It's an '89 Honda Prelude.
That's what you should have bought before, not a brand new car.
what the agreement was, that she was going to take care of this car and buy a car.
Let me see the papers on it, please.
You want all this?
Yeah, let me take a look at it.
There you go.
Well, what do you expect your sister to do with your debt, madam? What do you expect her to do with your debt?
You know, paying the car and making my payments wasn't a problem.
You
It
didn't
wasn't.
make the payment.
The first payment was late, and
You
I
didn't
and I
make
made the
the
agreement
payment.
that I would pay her, and that wasn't a problem. When we made the agreement the second time around, I was making my payments.
You didn't make February and March's payment.
I made 2 payments.
What do you expect her to do with this car now?
It wasn't a problem for me having the car. It
What?
wasn't. She took the car away from me
No,
the second
it was a
time.
problem, madam. If you didn't make 2 months worth
I was
of car
making my
payments,
payments on the second time around. I was. She
Pay
took the car away
attention.
from me again.
Oh, you know, I mean, are you stupid or what? If you don't make a February car payment and you don't make March,
I made 2 payments in April.
show me.
She has all the
Show me.
receipts.
How much
She
did she give
has
you
all
in
the
April?
receipts.
And what happened was, for the first 2 months, the payments were not made.
Of course.
Okay,
She
so she didn't
acknowledges
have an
that.
insurance, and I put her on my insurance until she got her own. After I put her on my insurance, the insurance company told me she had like 6 points on her driver's license, which skyrocketed my insurance. I took her off my insurance and said, until you get your insurance back, until you get your own insurance, I'm not going to do this. I can't do it anymore. And that's when she just gave up and didn't want to pay anymore. I tried everything in there.
What do you intend to do with this car?
Well, if things go well today, I intend to take both the cars into to a dealership, turn them both in, and apply this as a deposit. If everything goes well today, I
Well,
want to apply
if
it toward a
everything
deposit.
goes well, Miss Ritchie, is a problem. Because what you're asking me to do is to say you probably will get this amount of money for your car. And I can't do that. I don't know whether it's going to be $3,000 or $4,000. I have no idea. And neither do you.
I'm sorry, I do. I've looked into doing it. This is not something I've not done lightly. It's taken me a while to do this. The car payment right now, Blue Book's at $6,000, $7,000. The car's still owing about $11,000 on it.
Okay, let me go back and check the Blue Book. The old trusty Blue Book, $7,700 in fair condition. Good condition is $8,825. So let's say it's $8,000. Did your sister give you any money whatsoever towards the car?
$300 total.
Okay.
Your Honor, on the Blue Book value, that's maybe Blue Book, but you can't trade it in for that value.
Listen, I can do the following. I can make an award for you today of $440. If she gave you $300, she owed you $740. And then what you can do is you can go and sell the car, and then you can refile your lawsuit. What is your pleasure? I can't speculate.
I will sell the car.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Mr. Hodges, you are the owner of this bar and grill.
It's a corporation. I'm the president, majority shareholder, yes.
What's the name of the club?
Belly Up Tavern.
How long have you been president?
28 years.
In the 28 years that you've owned the club, how many times have you been sued by patrons for having them illegally bounced from your club?
I'm going to guess 5.
Now, Ms. Ackerman, it is your complaint that one or more of the defendant's employees that were employed as security in defendant's club forcibly ejected you from the club. Not only were you bruised physically during that time, but you were also emotionally bruised, embarrassed. The defendant's position is that you were drunk and disorderly and had to be forcibly removed from the club. Is that right, sir?
Correct.
Okay. This is the boyfriend who was with you that night?
Yes.
You are Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Fine. Okay. Miss Ackerman, tell me what you were doing at the club that night.
It was supposed to be a really good band. We were actually down the way at a grand opening for a tile and bath store.
So you hadn't started out there?
Had not started out, had not had plans or intentions of going there in the first place.
How far was that from the defendant's pub?
Probably about 5 doors north, same sidewalk.
And what time did you arrive at the grand opening?
Around 8:30.
There was alcohol served there?
They were serving alcohol, yes.
Okay, and did you drink there?
I started to have a glass of wine poured for me, but they ran out of white wine, so I had maybe half a glass.
And was Mr. Parisi there with you at 8 o'clock?
Yes, he was.
Were you a guest of whom at this tile and bath place?
A woman named Susie Banks. She was working to open this new store.
When did you leave?
Around 9.
Okay, what happened at 9 o'clock?
Susie Banks gave us tickets.
Look at me.
Gave us tickets for the Belly Up. She said it was a really good band. I don't even recall the name of the band at this time. And she handed us the tickets and talked us into going over to the Belly Up.
And you got there about 9 o'clock?
Shortly after, we did stop at the Wild Note Cafe, which is right next door to the Belly Up, with another couple, and we shared dinner and shared one bottle of wine there.
What time did you leave dinner?
I know it was before 10 o'clock.
And you went to Belly Up Tavern?
We went into the Belly
And
Up.
you gave them your passes?
Mm-hmm.
And when you first arrived, did you have anything to drink?
No, I didn't. It was actually so crowded I couldn't even find my way to the bar, let alone order a drink.
Why don't you pick it up from there and tell me what happened with the defendant's employees?
I had gone into the bathroom.
What time?
I wasn't carrying a watch, so I really can't say. I'm sure that all this was over and done with by 11 o'clock. But when we came out, it was just way too overwhelmingly crowded for me. I wasn't enjoying myself, so I approached Lorenzo, told him that I was going to be leaving, and I didn't mind if he stayed. And I was headed towards the exit when 2 to 3 men approached me from behind. I didn't even see them coming.
And what happened?
And they started to put their arms on me without saying any words. That's my whole argument. I feel that they used excessive force instead of verbal communication. If they would have just spoken with me.
Tell me what they did exactly.
They started to put their arms on me.
What do you mean started to put their arms on you?
Well, they approached me from behind, so I couldn't really see. My peripheral was, pretty restricted.
Right.
And they didn't say anything. I asked who they were, what they wanted. I didn't hear any response. And as soon as they started to touch me, I started to shrug them off, shake them off, because I didn't want them touching me or on me. And they wrestled me to the ground and picked me up by my ankles and my wrists and carried me out the front door. And during the struggle, unfortunately my tube top had slid down around my waist, so as they were carrying me out by my ankles and my wrists, I couldn't even pull up my shirt. My whole upper body was exposed.
And what happened?
They dropped me off out front, and police came, and a friend drove me home.
Is there a police report?
I heard that there was a police report.
You don't have
I don't have it.
Fine. And
I
somebody
have a
drove you-
sheriff's report from when I made a report about not even 2 days later.
So you were not physically injured?
Minor scrapes and bruises all over my body, my back, my shoulders, my arms,
Do you
my
have any
wrists.
photographs for me?
No, it claims right here in the sheriff's report that he does note all of them, and he admits that when he tried to photograph it, the lighting was wrong. He shot directly.
I'd like to see that.
I highlighted that section with the actual injuries.
At first, you told the detective that you did not wish to prosecute the case. Is that right?
Yes.
What changed your mind? Did you see a lawyer?
I believe...
The answer is either yes or no. Did you see a lawyer?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I spoke
How
with
many-
one on the phone.
How many days later did you speak to a lawyer?
The next day.
Did you go to the hospital or an emergency room that day or the next day?
No, I did not.
Was it at the suggestion of the lawyer that you called and make this sheriff's report?
I do not recall.
Sure you do. The only intervening act between the time this incident happened and the time 2 days later, not related to this incident, was your call to a lawyer. Is that right?
I did call a lawyer the next
Okay,
morning.
Fine. You also told the detective that you were going to see a doctor that day. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you go and see the doctor?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What doctor did you go and see? Was it a doctor, your personal physician?
It was through the Sharp Reese Steely Urgent Care, and I did not have a chance to pick up the records before I left. I do have my chiropractor's report.
You went to a chiropractor?
Yes, she
Had you ever-
referred...
Shh. I'm asking questions. Had you ever seen a chiropractor before?
Yes, I have back problems to begin with.
So you went to see the same chiropractor that you had seen before?
Actually, no, I had never seen James before.
So you went to a different chiropractor?
Yes.
Is the chiropractor that you went to a chiropractor that was recommended by your attorney?
Yes, he was.
It's almost like I have a crystal ball.
Sounds like you've been there before.
Yeah, I have been. Now, Mr. Hodges, were you there that evening?
No, I was not.
Are these your two employees?
One employee and one independent witness.
Who was the employee?
Mr. Samatua, right behind me.
And who was the independent witness?
Joe Taylor, and he's sitting next to Mr. Samatua.
Mr. Taylor, you want to step up here, sir?
Sure.
Were you a patron in the club that night?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you witness this event?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
How much did you had to drink?
I don't drink.
You don't drink at all?
Nope.
So what were you doing at this club?
Listening to the band.
Other than being a patron and visiting the club, do you know the defendant?
No, I do not.
Now tell me what you saw.
I was standing at the end of the bar, and I was just up stretching my legs because we were sitting close to the stage. And I just kind of heard a ruckus, and she had come out of the ladies' room. And I
Did you see that?
I didn't see her come out of the ladies' room, but I heard one of the bouncers, and I believe it was this gentleman, say to her, "You can't go around shoving people." And then she basically turned to him and told him to go himself.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I did serve her wine myself, and when we did run out of wine, she actually showed me behind my desk where she had a stash of wine.
That's not true.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Aaron Ackerman says nightclub owner David Hodges owes for an assault committed by bouncers at his club. David says Aaron was drunk and belligerent.
Go ahead.
And he got up and he put his hand on her arm and said, "You have to leave the premises." At that time is when she pulled away and he went to grab her again and she started to swing.
What do you mean she started to swing?
Well, she didn't want, she'll leave me alone. And then at that time another bouncer came. And one of her shoes came off because she was kicking so hard and flew back over.
What do you mean she was kicking so hard?
She was trying to get away from him, I guess.
You mean she was standing up and kicking?
Yeah, at that time.
Go ahead.
Then a third bouncer saw what was happening. He came over and she was fighting so hard she slipped and she went down onto the ground onto her back. And she was kicking and trying to punch, scratching, and that's when she was exposed on her top.
Did you see her being removed from the premises?
I saw them finally pick her up and take her towards the front door, and that was the last I saw.
You were never close enough to her to determine whether or not she appeared to be intoxicated.
Not really. I couldn't smell her breath or anything like that, no.
Well, she acknowledges that she was, buzzed. Is that the word you used?
I believe it was, yes.
Yes, I see that in the report that you have here. The detective, you say you weren't drunk, but you were buzzed.
It's a little lightheaded.
Does that scenario sound familiar to you?
Not quite.
Well,
I didn't actually start kicking until I was already on the ground.
How did you get to the ground?
They wrestled me down.
That's not what he said. He said that you were kicking so hard that you slipped.
That I threw myself off my feet.
That you slipped.
Fell.
That you slipped and went down.
And no one was touching me on my way down.
Well, I'm not. They were trying to grab her to escort her out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And in all the ruckus.
Do you recall the security guard telling you that you have to leave?
He didn't say one word.
Do you recall saying anything to him?
No. Just, what do you want? What are you doing?
You don't recall anything that this gentleman says he heard, you say, cursing at him?
No. Not till I got outside. I recall being very volatile.
That's not what he said. He said that within the club.
I did not swear within the club.
You know this gentleman?
I don't. Never seen him before in my life.
Well, he saw you.
Sounds like it.
It does. And he wasn't buzzed.
Good for him.
He was also a mile away by the stage. Excuse me.
You were buzzed too.
We were in a bar, hence the word tavern.
I don't even want your bouncer to testify.
I'm sorry.
I don't even want you. Sorry for calling you a bouncer, sir. Okay? You're the security officer.
Security technicians.
What, security technician.
Security technicians.
By the way, thank you very much, Mr. Taylor. I appreciate your coming.
Thank you.
Would you step up just for a moment? I just have a couple of questions to ask you. Do you wear any particular kind of uniform?
Yeah, I wear a yellow shirt that has a staff on it, belly up staff.
Do the other security technicians also wear yellow shirts?
Yeah.
How long have you been employed by Belly Up?
2 years.
Ever been the subject of a lawsuit before?
No.
Hmm?
No.
Okay, have a seat. Have any other witnesses for me, sir?
We have Susie Banks here.
Is she outside?
She's outside, yes.
Where would you get her? Susie Banks.
Susie Banks.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Deputy stated Ackerman was very drunk. She swore, staggered, and pushed him in the chest. That's the police officer.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Erin Ackerman is claiming she was assaulted by a bouncer at David Hodges' nightclub. David has produced a surprise witness who claims Erin was drunk.
Miss Banks, it's my understanding from the plaintiff that she was your guest that evening in the opening of a tile store. Is that right?
Yes.
That's what is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Miss Ackerman says that they ran out of wine by the time she was going to have a glass of wine. She had about a half a glass of wine. Does that sound right to you?
No.
Well, what do you know?
I did serve her wine myself.
You did?
Yes, I did.
How many times?
I don't recall the number of times, but we were all having a great time. And
What did she have? One glass of wine or more than one glass of wine?
More than one glass of wine, and we did run out of wine. And when we did run out of wine, she actually showed me behind my desk where she had a stash of wine. So she had an extra bottle in there for us for when we ran out of the wine.
You remember that?
That's not true.
Then Miss Ackerman says that you gave her 2 tickets to go to the Belly Up Tavern to hear this band. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's correct.
And what about the other couple that they were with?
They also got tickets.
Right. You have any other witnesses that you want me to hear?
Just the person that I was with and saw everything happen also.
Come on. Now, Mr. Parisi,
Yes.
you want to tell me what you saw that evening at the tavern?
At the Belly Up Tavern?
Mm-hmm.
From which time? From when we first got there? Or?
Yeah. You weren't there very long.
We did enter together into the club. We had been there a while. I think I had gotten to the bar and had a beer or two. It was really loud. It's really dark inside there. It's not the
You had a
light.
drink or two,
Yeah, I had a couple beers. Yeah, absolutely.
but not Miss Ackerman.
I actually wasn't with her when I was having the beer
Why not?
because I walked up to the bar to get a beer. There's 1,000 people in
I
this
ran
place.
into my girlfriend.
Speak not.
As far as his story, stretching his legs by the band, that's a good 30 feet away from where we were at the time. So I don't know how he could have heard anything or seen anything when there's 6-foot high people, thick all the way to the stage.
He wasn't near the stage, sir.
He said he stretched his legs by the stage.
No, that's not what he said. He said he was at the bar. He
Oh,
stretched
he was right
his
at the bar? Okay, excuse me. My fault.
stretched his legs and he went over to the bar.
Okay, that's fine. Well, anyway.
So why don't you just worry about your testimony, not his?
Yeah, okay. She had come out of the bathroom, I think, and I was standing right. The bouncer sits at a certain spot when you enter the club. So she had come out of the bathroom. I had already gone by him and was standing right around the corner. She came by me, said something to me. I put my hand out or something, and
She said something to you like what, Mr. Parisi?
I don't really know exactly. Just she was leaving or she didn't want to be there anymore.
And you said you put your hand out. How did you put your hand out, sir?
To stop her for a second because she was moving kind of quickly.
So you put your hand out to stop her?
Yeah.
And what happened next?
She shrugged my hand off and said she was leaving.
So she pushed your hand
Pushed
away?
my hand away.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then, which happened really quickly, the bouncer or bouncers, I think maybe it was one at the beginning, came up behind her and grabbed her.
How did he grab her?
He grabbed her from behind. He grabbed her.
I want you to show me, sir, on Miss
Came
Ackerman,
up
how
from
he
behind
grabbed her.
and grabbed her like this
Okay.
and started to push her this way to leave.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
She turned around and, of course, started to kind of swing and shrug him off because she didn't know what was going on. Nobody quietly tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, you need to leave," which I don't know why she would have to leave anyway when she didn't push or shove or fight with me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was even going on.
And you didn't hear her say anything to the bouncer?
No, it was too loud. There's a band playing.
So you didn't hear?
No, I couldn't hear anything.
So she could have said what Mr. Taylor said she
could
said.
have said anything. I couldn't hear. It's too loud.
So she could have said.
I don't know how he could have heard.
It was so loud you couldn't hear anything. Is that what you just said?
Kind of hard to hear, yeah. Certainly.
So the bouncer could have said to her, "Sorry, ma'am, you have to leave,"
While he grabbed her, sure.
while he grabbed her arm.
Sure.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Can I see the police report that you have, Mr. Hodges? Ms. Ackerman, I'm going to read you what deputy who responded to the scene that evening and actually witnessed what happened, at least outside, stated in the police report. Have you ever seen this police report?
Yes, I
Sure
have
you have.
heard. What was in it?
Yeah, you heard what from your attorney, I assume. Is that right? Your attorney who told you, I can't represent you anymore, I'm not wasting any more time on this case. Is that right?
No, that is not correct.
Well, I assume that's why you're here and he's not. Deputy stated Ackerman was very drunk. She smelled strongly of alcoholic beverages. Her movements were slow and uncoordinated, and her speech was slurred. He asked Ackerman what had happened, and while she was trying to explain, she swore, staggered, and pushed him in the chest. That's the police officer. Ackerman was trying to explain to the police officer how she was pushing her boyfriend inside the bar. Police officer asked her not to touch him while she was talking to him. Ackerman nevertheless pushed him 2 more times, and he considered arresting her for being drunk in public. Ms. Ackerman, you don't have a case.
Stewart. Wise up a sworn in judge. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat.
All right, let's see how quickly we can do this. Ms. Arell, according to you, the defendant is your ex-boyfriend.
Correct.
And he owes you some money. I did the math. I don't quite see where you come up to $5,000. I'm sure you're going to try to explain that to me. The money comes from 2 sources. One, you claim that you went on a vacation together, and he was supposed to pay you for at least half of the vacation or the whole vacation, and he never did. The vacation, according to you, was under $1,000.
Correct.
And the second thing was a loan that you made to him for some furniture for his new apartment. That was $190.
Correct.
Tell me about the trip. When did you take it?
We went on May 22nd of 2000.
Okay, what were the circumstances surrounding the trip?
He was just beginning a new job. He was supposed to start the following week. We had some time off. He had told me that for many, many years during his childhood, he had wanted to go to Disneyland. He had never gotten the chance to go, and we would like to go, with the understanding that since...
No understanding.
Okay.
He would like to go on the trip.
Correct.
I want to hear your version of the conversation. No I don't want to hear your understanding.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He did not have the front money to go on the vacation, but if I would agree, I agreed to put it on a credit card, in which case there was a payment plan and that it would all be paid back in the next year.
He said that to you?
Correct.
You got your bill from your credit card?
Yes.
How much was the total trip?
The trip alone, $960.
Did you show him the bill?
I did.
And what did he say?
He said no problem. He began his payments, and it was
How many
actually
payments
fine.
did he? How many payments did he make?
He made 2 payments directly on his paid dates.
How much?
The very first one was $40. He followed with $20.
So according to you, he paid $60 in total.
There was another $20 payment weeks later. There was $80 total.
Okay. So he's making these small payments, and now tell me about the furniture.
We had previously, prior to the
Were
trip...
you living together at the time?
No, we were not.
Okay.
At that time, a couple of weeks after we returned from vacation, he did have to leave the residence where he was staying with a family member. And he stayed at my house just for a couple of weeks until he did find his own residence.
And?
And he had come here from very far out of state when he had originally moved here. He hadn't acquired many things other than a bed and such. And being that I had no point to distrust him at that time, I did agree to buy a few things for the apartment for him.
How much did you spend?
It was just under $200.
What do you mean just under $200?
It was the credit card totals of $191.
And he wasn't working at the time?
He was working at the time.
So why didn't he pay for those things himself?
He didn't have any money saved up, and he had made a few payments to me.
Paid $40,
He just had to pay
$20, $28?
Had to pay rent to get into a new place, too.
Okay. So far, if everything that you say is accurate,
yes,
it's $191 plus $880.
Okay.
$1,071. So you want to explain to me why we have a lawsuit for $5,000?
Absolutely. There were other very small charges. His pet was hit by a car, had to have emergency surgery. Veterinary clinic needed payment to receive the animal back, things like that I did put on. That was just prior to the trip. That was May 2nd. The unfortunate thing is that I had one credit card at the time, and we used that for the entire vacation, and due to the fact that it was in 2000, because of non-payment, I've had interest for over 2 years on a credit card.
Should have paid it off.
Which he agreed to.
You should have paid it off.
You're right. If I had the money, I would. You're right.
Shouldn't have gone on the trip if you didn't have the money. He didn't have the money, you didn't have the money, then you don't go to Disneyland. You don't go to Fantasyland if you don't have, neither one of you have the money.
It's difficult to turn down a somewhat free vacation with someone that you do trust. I did trust him very much.
No. Listen to me.
Okay.
When did you meet him?
January.
You met him in January. You're going away in May.
Correct.
Right? January, February, March, April, May. Did he have a job in January?
The entire time, yes.
He had a job in February?
Correct.
March?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
So why didn't he have any money? You told me he was living with relatives.
That was kind of the problem. He never seemed to have any money.
Well, then I don't know. I would begin to scratch my head if I were an intelligent girl.
I did shortly thereafter.
Well, you do it shortly before you expend money.
You're right.
I mean, you wanted to trust him. The fact that you wanted to trust him doesn't mean that you had any cause to trust him.
Right. We had a rapport built up. He'd borrowed very small amounts in the past, and he paid them back immediately. I had a lot of trust in him at the time.
Well, so then maybe if he borrowed small amounts, he paid them back immediately. Maybe his answer to your lawsuit has some validity. Mr. Stewart, what's your answer, sir?
Your Honor, I'm sorry. We went on this vacation, all right? We started going out on Valentine's Day that February. It was supposed to be like a gift to me, okay?
Why would you make a gift of a trip to you?
Well, Your Honor.
Don't be an actress, please.
Okay.
Your Honor, I love her very much, all right? And I think she felt the same way back to me. And I thought it was just, you know, she knew I was getting stressed out at my job. She was getting stressed out, and she told me it was the happiest place on earth. So, so we decided.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I mean, I just have a hard time seeing how, you know, a $400 trip to Disneyland has accumulated to $5,000.
It hasn't.
Okay.
Only in her mind. Only in the fantasy of her own mind.
Okay.
And later today,
I had a lady from Protective Services show up at my door. There had been a conflict at their home, and I was under the impression Teresa was hit, and that's why she came to stay with me.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kimberly Orell says ex-boyfriend Robert Stewart owes for an IKEA shopping spree and for his share of a trip to Disneyland. Robert says Disneyland was a Valentine's gift.
Why didn't you have any money to go?
I just relocated to Oregon, and I guess I just really don't know how to manage my money that well, especially at the time. And
were you using drugs?
No, ma'am.
Well, if you were working, you were living with relatives.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And you weren't spending a lot of money on the plaintiff. What were you doing with your money?
I really wasn't making that much money at the
What kind
in the
of
first
work were you
place.
doing?
We worked at a detox detention center together.
Were you working 2 jobs at the time?
Shh, I don't speak to him. All right. Let us say that the two of you should not have gone on this vacation together if neither of you had the money. So let's say you split this vacation.
Well, in that case, Your Honor, I mean, I would say that if you did have an agreement like that, it would be a $400 trip. And we got back, and she was having a hard time paying her credit card. I gave her almost $400 to help her out with her credit card in the first place.
Did you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any proof of that?
No, I don't.
When did you give her $400? So she said you gave her 80.
It was just over a period of time. Like I give her $50 here, $50 there.
Really?
I mean,
Do
just
you
to help her
remember?
out.
You remember all those times, Mr. Stewart?
Yes, ma'am.
You got a pretty good memory.
Well, it's just, I mean, $400, that's not that many payments of $50.
Is it cash or checks?
It was cash.
Are you speaking to him?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, I just have a hard time seeing how, you know, a $400 trip to Disneyland has accumulated to $5,000.
It hasn't.
Okay.
Only in her mind. Only in the fantasy of her own mind.
Okay.
All right. We talk about furniture. You're talking about pots, pans, teacups. What about that?
Your Honor, most of this stuff, she was staying with relatives at the time as well. And she asked me to hold on to it at her place because she had it in storage. I had it in my place. As soon as we broke up, I helped load it up in her car for her, and she took it all back.
What about stuff she bought? Do you know?
She bought a couple of things like plates and such, and, you know, we got it from like one of those dollar stores where they sell plates, you know. And I mean, she did buy stuff for me, but I was under the impression it was a gift. You know,
Did you ever tell her that you're going to pay her back for it?
No, ma'am. There was
I
no
don't
meeting
believe
of the
that you did
minds.
either.
Ma'am, I have a witness also.
I'll hear you witness.
Okay, thank you.
Tell me your name.
Heather Walker.
All right, Miss Walker, tell me what you know.
I witnessed a conversation at my home between Mr. Stewart and Kimberly, where he very clearly stated that he knew he owed her a large amount of money. He was going to pay her.
Well, tell me about when that happened and under what circumstances.
It would have been about a week after my birthday of that year because Kimberly and I weren't able to be together.
When's your birthday?
July 11th.
Okay, so in July, you witnessed a conversation. Tell me what you best recall of the conversation.
That they'd visited for about a half an hour. They were going to leave and go to a restaurant. Mr. Stewart said that he did not have cash on him, and would Kimberly mind paying for this, whatever they had eaten, and he promised to pay her back.
Now, what did he say? He said, I'll pay you back.
He said, I will pay you back.
I'll pay you back.
Yeah. I'll give you your money back. She made sort of a sarcastic remark about, like the other money that you paid me back.
Right.
That's about the end of the conversation, but except for he got a little bit defensive because I asked him why he hadn't been paying. He said, you know what, I don't want to fight about this. Kimberly's already been giving me some guff about it, and I will pay her back.
And did they go out for dinner?
Yes.
And I assume you paid? Right?
Yes.
Your Honor, I don't recall that conversation at all.
I don't recall you paying me $400.
Listen to me. Don't speak to him. Okay. If you wanted to speak to him, you shouldn't come here.
Can I submit a few things to you?
I'm not interested in the few things that you want to submit to me, madam. Let me explain something to you. You had a romance that ended 2 years ago.
Yes.
Put a period and move on.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
Do you see your daughter, Teresa?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
Well, she lived on bad terms, and until she gets her act together, Your Honor, I don't want her in my house because she's a danger.
How's she behaving in your house?
She's a handful.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kimberly Orell says ex-boyfriend Robert Stewart owes for an IKEA shopping spree and for his share of a trip to Disneyland. Robert says Disneyland was a Valentine's gift.
I believe that if the two of you took a stupid vacation together when neither one of you could afford to go on a vacation, the two of you ought to pay for it. I do not believe, Mr. Stewart, and even if I tended to believe that you gave her more money than you said, you had no proof that you gave her more money than you said you gave her, because according to you, she said to you, let's go on this wonderful trip together. You don't go on a trip if you can't afford it, so you have to pay for half the trip. $480, and I give you credit, sir, for the $80 that she says that you paid her back, which means that you owe her $400. Then we get to the quote-unquote furniture. I get the sense that you wanted to help furnish this little apartment for him so that he would be comfortable. Certainly, even if I believe you, and based upon what I've just calculated, I did, he owed you, according to you, $960. So he makes a $20 payment on $960, and you don't look like an unintelligent young lady. He had promised, according to you, to pay the whole thing back in a year. Well, if he makes $20 payments a month, that's going to take him a lot longer than a year to pay off $960. Well, then you're still going out for dinner with him, and according to your witness, still paying the bill. All not very smart. When your head is ruled by your heart, sometimes you do foolish things. And all I can suggest to you, Miss Orell, is that you put a period and move on. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $400. That's all.
Parties are excused and they step out.
I think it's pretty bad that, you have to go to court to solve some problems that can be solved at home.
Let this be a lesson to people. Don't ever lend anyone money. They'll twist it and turn it. And it's just going to be a bad situation either way.
There was no money owed, so there's no payments to be made.
Don't lend money to your firstborn. It doesn't matter who it is. Don't do it. You'll get hurt.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hill versus Pito. Step forward, please.
Food clerk Lori Hill is suing her ex-husband, maintenance technician Dennis Pito, for the return of child support. Dennis says Lori still owes him for an unpaid medical bill.
Ms. Hill, you and the defendant have two children together, two daughters.
That's correct.
And according to your complaint, both of the girls were living with the defendant. Was that by court order?
Yes.
How long had the children been living with the defendant?
About 8 years.
And how old are they?
15 and 12.
What are their names?
Autumn,
15-year-old.
Teresa and Amy.
You were ordered to pay child support to the defendant for the two girls.
That's correct.
According to your complaint, there came a time when one of the girls came to live with you, and there was an agreement that since there is sometimes a lag in the accounting through the court, that any money that you paid after your older daughter Teresa came to live with you would be returned to you. It is your claim that Mr. Pito owes you $303. Mr. Pito says that you actually, despite the fact he doesn't have a counterclaim, owe him for a medical bill for one of the girls. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. The children had been living with Mr. Pito for 8 years. Did you have visitation with the girls?
Yes.
And under what circumstances did Teresa come to live with you?
I had a lady from Protective Services show up at my door. There had been a conflict at their home, and I was under the impression Teresa was hit. and that's why she came to stay with me.
What was the amount of the support that you were paying for the two girls?
$102 weekly.
How long had you been paying child support?
For the whole time that he
For the
had
whole
8
8
years,
years.
yes.
Did you have a discussion with Mr. Pito with regard to the child support when Teresa came to live with you?
Yes, he, when he dropped her stuff off at my home, he had this paper for us to sign.
May I see it, please? Thank you. Okay. You say you'll waive the $104 in child support. That means that each of you was going to take care of one child, and there would be no support paid by either one. Is that right?
That's right.
And that is dated 12/4/01. Was any money taken out of your check after the 4th of December?
Yes, I have all my...
Is that the $303?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge, Mr. Pito, and let's not get to the medical yet, that the plaintiff paid child support beyond whatever these debts are of $303 that you received after December 4th?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Now tell me why you think that you shouldn't have to give that back to her.
Well, Your Honor, when I made that agreement with her, after that, I realized there were still pending medical bills from when Amy had her asthma attack on September 2000, and there was a $1,700 bill. And at that time, she was still required to pay 36% of that $1,700. And after talking to the medical staff that was billing me, she told me that most of it might be taken care of, but at the very least, there's still going to be a $212 balance.
What do you mean most of it was going to be taken care of? What does that mean?
Well, because between her insurance and my insurance, they're trying to see who's the primary and who's the secondary. And before that's settled, and when I have to pay the bill, I want to make sure that she doesn't have any more outstanding bills.
So what you're saying is you signed this document, then afterwards you realized that there may be some money owing for a 2-year-old medical bill because the insurance hasn't been sorted out yet. Is that right?
That's right.
Mr. Pito, when you get your act together with regard to how much money you think Ms. Hill owes you, and all the insurance claims have been submitted and ultimately resolved, you have the ability to go in and file a claim against her if she still owes you any money. In the meantime, you have to return the $303 that you accepted from her after you signed this document indicating that you would not be taking any money from her, she would not be asking you for any money, you were both going to assume full financial responsibility for each of the girls that were in your custody. Okay? Now, that's easy. Do you see your daughter, Teresa?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
Well, she lived on bad terms, and until she gets her act together, Your Honor, I don't want her in my house because she's a danger.
She's 15 years old. How's she behaving in your house?
She's a handful.
She's a handful?
Yes, she is.
I've got a feeling that you got the easier end of the bargain at this point. Is that right?
Your Honor, I've had custody for those girls for 8 years.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats.
Mr. Ortiz, you and the defendant have 3 children together. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
You say she owes you some money. Ms. Palacio says she doesn't owe you anything. As a matter of fact, she believes that you should give her some money for medical bills for the birth of one of your children, as well as some personal property. Is that right?
Yes.
How old are these children?
The other one is 4 years. That's a boy. The other one is 3 years. And my baby boy is about 9 months.
And where do these children live?
Currently, they live with the mother.
Is that right?
Yes.
And who do you live with?
With my parents.
How long have you been together with Mr. Ortiz?
We were together for almost 5 years.
During that time that you lived together?
Yes.
Is that right?
That's correct.
When did you go back to live with your mother?
On May 28th, 2002.
And since you've been living with your mother, how much child support has Mr. Ortiz paid you?
Nothing.
Why?
Because she have failed to the child support agency to submit all the financial statement. Nothing have been settled to the child support
I don't care whether it's
agency.
been settled. What do you think? The kids don't eat between May and settlement date? They don't have doctors? They don't have clothes? What do you mean, no?
I mean, I do think the children, they eat and they need stuff.
Why didn't you give her any money?
Because I don't have a job, Your Honor.
You have 3 children and no job?
That's true.
Really? Something wrong with you?
Yes.
What?
I got hurt at work on June 19 and got surgery on the July 27, and since then I've been TTD.
What's TTD?
Total temporarily disabled.
What's the nature of your disability?
Problems with my back.
And you just had these problems with your back since a month after she left?
No, that's incorrect.
Well, how long have you had problems with your back?
Over a year.
Over a year?
Mm-hmm.
Who supports you?
Nobody.
Who feeds you?
Nobody.
You mean you haven't eaten in a year? Mr. Ortiz, who supports you?
The only sort of income I was receiving was a work compensation.
How much?
This month I started receiving $210 for permanent disability.
Who do you live with?
Nobody.
Do you have your own apartment?
Yes, I do.
You pay rent?
No, I don't pay rent.
Who pays your rent?
Nobody, because I own the place.
You own what place?
The apartment.
When did you buy the apartment?
On the year 1999.
While you were still together?
Yes.
How much did you pay for it?
I paid $70,000.
You have a mortgage?
Yes, I do.
Who pays the mortgage?
I'm responsible to pay it.
Mr. Ortiz, you understand where I'm going, sir? You're suing her because you wanted to pay for the cost of a trip. Reimbursement for some of a Disneyland trip that you took with her. Who went on the trip? The two of you. Who else?
Or family.
The whole family?
Yes.
When did you go on the trip?
September last year.
Was that shortly before or after you became disabled?
I was already disabled by then.
Then you shouldn't have gone on a trip to Disneyland. If you had no money, you don't go on a trip to Disneyland and expect her to pay half. She's got 3 children. You haven't paid her a dime since May. What, are you crazy? You think I'm going to give you any money? Shh, quiet! You think I'm going to give you any money? Man goes on disability. You're not too disabled to go to Disneyland. You spend a fortune in Disneyland when you're not working because you're disabled, because you have a back problem. And you expect me to order her to pay you for half of the trip to Disneyland? Hello? Then you want to be reimbursed for car insurance. You want to tell me about the car insurance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Last year, I referred her where she's currently employed. I put the word in for her, that way she can get hired. And then she didn't have a way to transportation. And then she said that she wanted to use my vehicle. And she promised me that she was going to pay for the maintenance and the car insurance for this vehicle.
I'm not even asking her that question. You mean because you were unemployed, because you're disabled, because you have a bad back that only lets you go to Disneyland. She went and got a job. She needed a car to go to the job. You're living as a family with your 3 children. She drove your car, so you wanted to pay your insurance. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Hello?
What I'm telling you is that she promised that she was...
I don't care. I don't believe it. I'm not even going to ask her. I don't care. You made 3 children. You made a promise, morally, to support them. You haven't done it. For a long time, you haven't done it. What?
We split up in May. They spent 16 days with me, those children, on the month of June. The child support is to be retroactive as of June. Since then, I've been working with the child support agency, and I'm just waiting to pay all my...
Listen to me, sir. Because you're waiting for the child support agency to tell you how much to pay doesn't mean that you don't give her money for the children. Do you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
Good. You're living in your condo, paying the mortgage. She's living with her parents, who did not bargain to have 3, 4 little kids home with them because the 2 of you split up. She can't afford to live in her own place. Are you working?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
Right now I'm a shift supervisor.
How many hours a day do you work?
Normally, a day I work 7.5.
And who takes care of your children?
My mother and my sister.
What about him? He doesn't do anything. Why didn't he babysit for the children during the day?
Because he was very abusive. That's why we got to
He's very
court.
abusive that I wouldn't let him take care of a goldfish. In any event, Mr. Ortiz, you get no money from her. Nothing. You have to have a good moral character. First of all, you live together with her as a family, despite the fact that you chose not to get married. Why, I will never know. If you made 3 children, is there any reason why you didn't get married?
Yes, Your Honor, there's a big
What is
reason.
that?
It's a long story from the very beginning. When she got pregnant, she was not living with me. You know, we were having an affair together.
Why don't you tell me why you didn't get married after your 2nd child was born?
Because that was the reason. She was not living with me when she got pregnant with the 2nd child.
What about with the 3rd one?
With the 3rd one, because she wanted an abortion, she never wanted to do nothing with me.
So you mean you asked her to marry you and she said no?
I never asked her to marry me.
You wanted her to ask you?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
My dear Mr. Ortiz, Byrd didn't make your 5 children. You made your 5 children. If you can't afford to support 5 children, you don't make 5 children. Period.
And later today,
Miss Brooks says there was a terrible storm, and when she came down to check on
The dog.
she also checked on the
Equipment.
and she doesn't know anything about anything.
Correct.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jose Ortiz says his ex-girlfriend, Mary Palacios, owes for the cost of a trip to Disneyland. Mary says Jose doesn't pay child support for their 3 kids.
What do you want? Medical bills?
Yeah, at least half of the medical bills and reimbursement for everything he kept. Because when I left him with only what I had and a few change of clothes for my children.
Why?
Because I was already afraid of him, and I had it already. I got fed up. And when I asked him that I wanted the rest of my clothing, he told me that it was his property, that I had no right going back to his property. So I never went back. Only one time I went back with 2 sheriffs who escorted me in order to keep the peace. The only thing I ended up getting out of there as well was a few more changes of clothes, but I didn't get all of them. He kept the majority of them. But I left
Of
him
your
because-
clothes?
Yeah, of my clothing. And I've seen
Where's
him
her
wear
clothing?
a few of my pants.
The only thing I have is this that she left on my card. That's it.
I'm sorry, that is a lie.
Just a second. Now tell me about the furniture. Did you keep all the furniture?
Yes, I do have all the furniture, Your Honor.
Who purchased it?
I did, Your Honor.
And what about her?
She didn't purchase nothing.
What was she doing?
Just home.
She was home taken care of?
The children, she didn't want to work. She put many excuses. Who's going to pay babysitting? I'll probably get the minimum wage. And then whatever I will be making, I will be spending on child care. That's what she told me.
And?
And she never wanted to work.
Okay. Listen to me very carefully, madam. You have no claim for furniture unless you can demonstrate to me that you paid for it. Because the 2 of you were not married for whatever reason. When you're not married, there is no court that's going to say that we're going to equitably distribute this property. And as far as the medical bills for the birth of one of the children, your family court action that settles the issue of support should also settle the issue of medical bills, because he is required by law, once paternity is established, to go back and pay, in addition to his child support, the birthing costs of the children. Do you understand that?
When we went to family law, I went to child support services, and I asked them if there's somehow that they can make him pay for the rest of this, because I've already paid for like half of it.
Let me see it. And they said what?
They told me what I needed was a court order stating that he is...
The father?
Actually saying that he does have to pay half of it.
Your Honor, she's claiming 2 bills. I have paid the one for Brea. The other one is from abortion that she had in the year 2000.
Is that true?
I've never had an abortion. Now, when we went to family law, he also signed his own stipulation saying that he would agree to pay half of it.
Oh, he did?
Yes. Only I didn't sign it because what he wanted me to agree on was joint custody, and that I didn't think was right because they needed to be somewhere where, a stable home, not just
Well,
jumping.
nobody's going to give him custody of the children if you say he's abusive, and you can establish that.
Your Honor, I have joint custody, physical and legally, with my child.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Show me.
Not anymore.
I don't have the court order with me, but I do have joint custody, physical and legal, with my child.
Well, when are the children with you, sir?
They were Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That way she can have the weekend.
Is that right?
No, it's going to change now because he was found to be mentally unstable in family law, and also that it was found that he was very controlling and abusive in our relationship. And now what he's going to get from now on is supervised visitation, Saturdays from 10 to 2, Sundays 10 to 2, and it has to be supervised.
Is that correct, sir? I just want to know what the current order is. Is it for supervised visitation or is it 4 days a week?
It's current until the order kick in.
When was the last time you saw your children, sir?
Last week.
When did you see them?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And they stayed at your house?
Correct.
Do you have a copy of this order
It's
for
not in yet
supervised?
because it just went through October 10th, and it's not in yet.
Was he present?
Yes, he was.
Were you present when the court issued a ruling?
No, the ruling that the judge made it on the 11th this month. And I was on court hearing on the 10th because I want custody of my child that she's been abusing so much.
All right. When are they supposed to give you an order with regard to the child support?
I have an appointment October 28th to determine who's going to have to pay and how much.
Okay, fine. So I'm not making
Your
any
Honor, I
order.
have a court hearing yesterday for one of my childs, and my child support with my daughter was dropped to 0 because I can afford the payments. Also, I've been using my credit card to pay for some of the stuff that my child needs.
Sir, I would suggest that what you do is you find another way of making a living. Did you walk into the courtroom today?
Yes, I
did. You walk into the courtroom today?
Yes, I did.
Have you been standing there for 20 minutes?
Yes, I do.
You haven't been using crutches or a cane. You've been standing there. You're going to turn around and walk out? And you're speaking. Is that right?
Yes, that's
Then what you have to do is to find a job, sir, that doesn't require the use of your back if your back hurts you. You have to find another way of earning a living.
I just got my license permits from the California. I'm
For
going
what?
to start to sell computers. I haven't even started my business. I have my permit, my state.
So you're going to start a business?
I'm going to start my own business, yes. Your Honor.
Good. You mean instead of getting a job so
Yes,
that you
Your
can
Honor,
attach your
because
salary? Are these the only 3 children that you have?
I have 5 children, Your Honor.
Where are your other 2 children, sir?
The other one is over there on the same town where I live. One of them is right here on LA.
How old are they?
The oldest one is 10 years old. The other one is 8 years old.
You send their mother's child support?
Yes, Your Honor.
When was the last time you sent money for those 2 children?
On my last paycheck that I got.
Which was when?
I believe it was like on the 15th.
Of what?
Of this month.
You told me you didn't get a paycheck. You told me you haven't been working in a year.
Yes, Your Honor, but my sole income is the permanent disability that I'm collecting right now, and they basing my child support on that. And then she's expecting me to pay child support too on top of supporting my other 2 children.
Listen, my dear Mr. Ortiz, Byrd didn't make your 5 children. These 2 gentlemen didn't make your 5 children. You made your 5 children. If you can't afford to support 5 children, you don't make 5 children. Period. End of discussion. He supports his children. I support my children. We don't want to support your children. And if you can't support 5, you don't have 5. You have 1.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jose Ortiz says his ex-girlfriend, Mary Palacios, owes for the cost of a trip to Disneyland. Mary says Jose doesn't pay child support for their 3 kids.
Mr. Ortiz, you get 0 from this lady. And madam, start life afresh. You have 4 children. Hopefully you can get some child support from him because you are not blameless in this whole thing either.
Yeah.
You know, you had 1 child, then you had 3 more with him. Bum, bada bum, bada bum, right? You're not married. How old are you?
25.
25. Not smart. Not smart. You have certain responsibility.
Yes, I know.
So, and you brought your troubles home to your mother because she didn't anticipate having to start rearing children now, I'm sure, at her stage in life.
That's true.
What you have to do is you have to realize you made a mistake, put a period, and move on. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Good. Goodbye, folks.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He can't control me anymore. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Then with you, because you just have money, you don't have money to throw you away.
I was always too afraid to have him arrested because he always told me if I did have him arrested, he'd bring me down with him.
She put me like a boogeyman.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Snyder versus Brooks. Step forward, please.
25-year-old hairstylist Jamie Ginsburg Schneider and her husband, Richard Schneider, are suing their neighbor, insurance agent Erin Brooks, for destroying their entertainment system. The Schneiders say Erin was watching their home while they were on vacation.
Mr. Schneider, the defendant is a neighbor of yours.
That's correct, ma'am.
And according to your complaint, you went away on vacation. Is this your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had a house sitter there to take care of your dogs, and the defendant volunteered also to check on the dogs in the evening.
That's
She had a
correct.
key to your apartment. According to you, when you came a time when you discovered that some entertainment equipment was either damaged and or missing, or was substantial loss on your part for this entertainment equipment, some sort of game station, television receiver. Ms. Brooks says that there was a terrible storm. And when she came down to check on
the
dogs, she also checked on the
equipment, lights, everything.
And she found that the equipment wasn't working, so she took it up to her house, right?
Correct.
To do something with it. And she immediately, when questioned about it, put it back, and she doesn't know anything, right?
Correct.
Can I see the estimates for the damage?
Yes, ma'am. The first one is the original receipt for the game center. That was the replacement receipt, and this
Just
next
give me
receipt,
what it cost to replace it.
I believe the totals came to about $1,533.
Mhm.
The game station was $213.
Right.
A television, $250. And for the replacement home theater, it came to $770.91.
What's the home theater?
That includes a home theater receiver as well as speakers, speaker wire.
Well, was all that destroyed?
No, ma'am, it wasn't destroyed. However, the speakers that went with the original one were incompatible with the newer model to replace that actual home theater receiver, so they needed to be purchased in order to work with the new receiver.
So my question to you, Ms. Brooks, is you had an agreement that you would come in the evening and check on the dogs. Is that right?
Yes.
What were you thinking about putting your hands on any of their equipment?
Well, we went in, Candace would watch TV there every night. I would go in and sit with the dog there and bring it up to my apartment.
Bring what up to your apartment?
The dog.
So you brought the dog up to your apartment. It's not what I asked you. You took entertainment equipment from their house to your house, and I'm asking you why.
Well, because all the lights were out and nothing was working in the apartment, and
So?
same thing in mine. So I did check their stuff. The Xbox would not come on. Everything else did.
Why did you take it to your apartment?
I wanted to see if it would work up there. I did not know what was wrong, and I just checked
Well,
it.
they didn't ask you to do that.
Well, I know that, but I took it upon myself to do that. There was other people in the apartment. 3 other people had keys.
That's okay.
It was 2
Just a second. I don't care. Other people did not take equipment. I mean, that's burglary. Madam, you had no permission to do that. You had limited permission. Your limited permission was to enter the house to look after the dogs. You had no permission to check the equipment. You had no permission to touch the equipment. No permission to remove it from the armoire where it had been housed. No permission to take it up to your apartment. No permission to try to see if it worked in your apartment. You had no permission to do that. That's burglary. What?
Miss Brooks also told us when we got home and noticed all the damage that she was entertaining friends the night that she took the equipment out of the house, and she did not want to bring the friends into our apartment for fear of something happening. So she decided to take the stuff upstairs to her house. That way they could use it in her apartment instead of being...
As I've been sworn in, Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
You are Miss Eckert?
Yes.
Miss Eckert, it is your claim that the defendant owes you for some rent, some other bills from taking money out of your ATM account, and Mr. Procopio?
That's correct.
It's your claim that Mr. Marcus assaulted you. You want to be compensated. Tell me, how do you know him, Miss Eckert, and when you moved in together, and what was the rent arrangement?
I met him last July, and we just became friends, and he had a 5-year-old son, and I had a 6-year-old son, and he was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I was living in a 3-bedroom house, and we both couldn't afford the places that we lived in, so we decided we move in together, just as roommates, and he can take care of my son while I go to work, just take him to school in the morning, and then the rent would be $300, and if he doesn't do that, then the rent would be $400.
How much was the total rent?
$850.
And how many people were living in the house?
It was just me and my son at the time.
When did he move in?
In the middle of September.
No, that's not true.
I'll get you in a minute. When was he supposed to start to pay rent? In October?
Yeah.
Did he pay October's rent?
No.
When did he move out?
Middle of May.
That's not true either.
From October until May, did he pay rent?
No.
Never?
No.
So why did you let him stay?
Because he always said he's getting a job. Every month I ask him, are you going to come up with some money? He was supposed to get food stamps too, you know, from the welfare. And every month he came up with a new story. One time he said he's going to sell his motorcycle, and I didn't want him to do that. And then he had a job at one time.
Yeah.
For a day, and then he lost that job.
Not true.
Do you think I'm going to give you a chance, sir?
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Then I want you to try to contain yourself. So he didn't pay you any money from October until May?
No.
So let's deal with the rent first. Now, Mr. Marcus, look who's having a turn. When did you move in according to your calendar, sir?
It was the middle of October.
Okay.
Actually, almost towards the end of October, when I come back from Mexico.
So according to you, you should have started to pay rent.
1st of November.
Thank you for anticipating. Did you pay rent?
No, not at the first. No, I didn't.
Why not?
Well, because I didn't have the money at that time.
What were you doing in Mexico?
I was helping a friend move his family down there.
Explain that to me.
It was just another friend of mine who needed assistance driving his family to Mexico. He asked me to help him.
You're making me very nervous, sir. Could you speak without moving so much?
Well, he asked me to help him move his family to Mexico. I did so. I was down there for a month.
So you weren't working at the time?
No.
So, and you were free?
I was taking care of my son. He was under medical conditions, so...
What kind of medical condition?
He was mauled by dogs, so he needed intensive care 24/7.
How old is he?
He is now 6. At the time, he was 5.
So you took your son, who needed full-time medical care, down to Mexico
No,
for
I
a
didn't.
month.
I left him with his grandmother.
The name of the friend who you helped move to Mexico?
Mario.
Mario.
Yeah, Mario. That's all I know.
Mr. Marcus, you see anything written here, sir?
No, ma'am.
Dumb, stupid.
No, I'm not saying that.
Do you think that I think that you were going down to move somebody whose name you don't even know, and you stayed with them for a month and you don't know their last name?
No, I don't. Actually, I couldn't even pronounce it if I did.
All right, Mr. Marcus. So November you didn't pay any rent. What about December?
Yes, I did give her some money. I did give her some cash.
Good. How much did you give us, sir?
I believe it was $150.
And in January?
I think it was another $100, $150.
February?
Not believe February, no.
March?
No, that's when we started getting the eviction notices, so she didn't pay either. It was pretty much everybody disbanded the house and off we went.
April?
No, nobody was there in April.
When did you move out?
March.
So according to you, sir, for the entire time you were there, you gave her a total of $250.
Well,
that's what you just told me.
Well, partial, yes.
That's what you just told me.
Yes, I understand that. Partial.
That's what you just
That's
told me.
cash, yes. I bought all the food for the house.
Food?
Yes, food. Well, she then proceeded to move Sal in.
I'm not there yet. Miss Eckert, I want you to tell me about this ATM card. I read your papers, and I don't think that you can prove it to me, but I'll listen to you anyway because I'm always trying to be fair.
Well, I got my paycheck and I deposited, and my bank account was way overdrawn, and I was like, there's something wrong. So I got a statement from the bank, a printout, and I noticed that there was some stuff on there that was charged on my debit card that wasn't made by me, and there was a 1-800 number next to it. So I called it, and I got to find out it was a...
She gave me the credit card.
Go.
It was a porn website.
That's not what it was.
Yes.
That's what the guy said on the phone.
That's not what it was.
Oh, okay. What makes you think it was Mr. Marcus who used your debit card?
Because the guy on the phone asked me what my email address is, and I said I don't have an email address. He asked me if I got a computer in my house,
That's
and
not
I
true
said
that she did.
I want you to be quiet until I look in your direction.
And he asked me if I know somebody by the name of Michael Marcus, and I said yes, that's my roommate. And he said that's the person who got the charge on my debit.
And what was the charge?
Do you want to take a look at this?
Sure.
And because of that, my bank account got totally overdrawn, so I got all those overdraft charges on there too.
Just tell me how much it was.
But all combined with the overdraft charges,
No,
about
forget the
$200.
overdraft charges. Just what you allege he charged.
About $100.
Now we're ready to go to you, sir. Now I want you to tell me about this assault. When did it take place?
12th of April.
Do you have a police report?
No, I did not call the police. I was going to pretty much let the whole issue go until my wife and him were going to go to court.
Mr. Marcus, do you think you're helping yourself, sir?
No, ma'am. I just want the truth.
Well, then wait your turn, and how are you related to him?
Can I speak?
No! I asked you a question. I said, how are you related to him?
I'm a witness.
How are you related to him?
We have a child together.
My condolences.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your actions today, being a wise guy and a smart mouth.
But I'm not.
But you are.
But you haven't even heard my side of this whole assault thing.
But you're not paying attention to me.
I am.
You're as dumb and as thick as this wood.
And later today,
he calls me and said he's in jail, to bail him out of jail.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I said,
Mr. Reyes, could you wait until I look at you and ask you questions, please? Oh, look at me. Could you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Heidi Eckert and her estranged husband, Salvatore Procopio, are suing former housemate Michael Marcus for unpaid rent. Salvatore claims soon after filing the case, Michael beat him up.
Now, 12th of April.
Correct. After the eviction notice came, we were supposed to be out the first of the month. Heidi,
First of what?
April, I believe.
First of April.
Yeah.
Why were you being evicted?
Due to unpaid rent.
When was the last time you paid rent?
I never paid any rent.
When was the last time you paid rent?
In February.
In February?
As far as the credit card is concerned.
Let's talking about the credit card.
Oh, well, it was handed to me. She knew all about
I'm not talking about the credit card now.
Well, we need to address it.
If I need to address it, I'll address it. Now, get back to the date of the assault.
Mr. Marcus came into the kitchen first thing in the morning and was upset about the whole lawsuit. Heidi had already, processed a claim to sue him in small claims. He was adamant that I was the one that put her up to it. And
when did you move into the house, sir?
Middle of November.
November.
I mean, probably within the first 30 days of Mr. Marcus moving in.
So you moved in after Mr. Marcus moved in?
I lived there prior. I moved out.
You moved in after Mr.
Yes.
Marcus moved in?
Yes.
After her arrangement with Mr. Marcus?
Correct.
Did you pay rent?
No.
Why not?
I was unemployed at the time.
That's not his problem.
Yeah, I stayed in the room with my estranged wife. I slept on a couch sometimes.
At any time, did either you or Miss Eckert receive public assistance?
No.
Not me.
What about you?
No.
So how are you supporting yourself, Mr. Precipio?
Me and everybody else was supporting him.
With the help of friends.
Was I looking at you?
Well,
Was I looking at you?
that's who was supporting him. Everybody else in the house.
You know, right now he's preparing to tell me about the fact that you punched him while sitting in the kitchen.
No,
A fact
he was
that
standing.
you acknowledge. Your defense to that, sir, is that you were afraid that he was going to assault you with a knife he was holding.
Yes.
Your actions today in dealing with me suggest that you're so dumb that you don't recognize that if you maintain a different kind of demeanor, I might believe the fact that you were in fear of your life and therefore responded by assaulting him, by punching him.
Well, if you hear my story, I'll tell you.
However, your actions today, being a wise guy and a smart mouth,
But I'm not.
but you are.
But you haven't even heard my side of this whole assault thing.
But you're not paying attention to me.
I am
You're
paying
as
attention.
dumb and as thick as this wood.
well.
Because if you listen to me, you would understand that if you were quiet and respectful of where you are,
Then I get
and
shut out.
understand where you are, you see how we're addressing each other and you see how quiet they are? Because at this point, I'm looking in your direction. You have no self-control. You can't control yourself.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy, Heidi Eckert, and her estranged husband, Salvatore Procopio, are suing former housemate Michael Marcus for unpaid rent. Salvatore claims soon after filing the case, Michael beat him up.
Tell me about the assault, sir. You were in the kitchen. He came in. He was angry because you filed the small claims case. And he did what to you?
He smacked me upside my face.
How did he do that? With an open hand or a closed hand?
It was closed hand and an open hand. There was two of them, in which I got out of the house.
Okay.
And I left.
And
I wasn't, you know, I wasn't.
My mouth is moving.
Excuse me.
When he hit you, did you have any injury?
I had a cut on the inside of my mouth.
Okay, so you had no serious injury.
No, not at all.
And you did not respond in kind by hitting him back
No.
because... Okay. Did you, in fact, have a knife in your hand?
I was doing the dishes. At the time, we weren't sitting in the kitchen. I was standing at
You
the
were
sink.
standing. And Mr. Marcus, at no time did he hit you, is that right?
No, he did not.
Stop! And you walked into the kitchen, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
The fact that Mr. Procopio was not seriously injured, or was not really injured at all, does not mean that you get a free whack. So that slap upside his head and little cut on the inside is going to cost you $500, Mr. Marcus. So far, I am eliminating these charges from here because everything that you told me, Miss Eckert, with regard to the person that you called, at your ATM card, is hearsay. However, I am persuaded that Mr. Marcus owes you for rent. So, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She's fine. I mean, we always got along. I'm kind of bummed that it came to this.
He owes me money. And if this time I'm not going to let it go.
He doesn't deserve a dime.
I wish everybody well. I wish it didn't all have to come to this.
I have no hard feelings against Heidi. As far as he's concerned, he's a chump.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Caban versus Reyes. Step forward, please.
Hairstylist William Caban is suing his former friend, 25-year-old waiter Jeffrey Reyes, for an unpaid loan to bail him out of jail.
According to your complaint, the defendant owes you for bailing him out of jail.
Yes.
Tell me exactly how that happened, sir.
We went out on Thursday night to karaoke. And
What was the date?
May 16th. And one of my friends met me at the bar. And he wanted to leave. I asked Jeffrey, do you want to go? He says, no, I want to stay.
Your Honor, he left
Just 1 second. I'll get to you. Go ahead. Get to you. Go ahead.
And I said, do you want to come? He said, no, I'm going to stay here. I want to sing. So I said, okay, I'll do you a favor. I gave him my ATM card. I gave him $20 plus my car keys. And I
Gave
said,
him
I'll
your
talk to you
ATM
later.
card for what?
To drink. He didn't have no money.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day he calls me and said, he's in jail, to bail him out of jail.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I said,
Mr. Reyes, could you wait until I look at you and ask you questions, please? Now look at me. Could you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he say to you?
He said, Will, can you please come and get me out of jail? Do you have the money to get me out of jail? And I did not have the money to get him out of jail. I had to go running around town, borrow money to get him out, because he kept on calling me every 15 minutes that my cell phone died and his cell phone died. There's 3 cell phones in the car, and they all died because he was calling us so much.
What do you mean 3 cell phones in the car?
We had 3 cell phones in the car. There's 3 people trying to get him out of jail. The only one that got him out of jail was me.
Well, who else was in the car?
Another friend of his roommates. I don't know his name.
So you're driving around with 2 other friends in the car?
No one had money to get him out.
Just answer my question, sir. You're driving around with 2 other friends. We're going to do this my way.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because my way, I'm going to get the truth.
Okay.
Where were you going?
We getting money to bail him out of jail.
And when you bailed him out, what did he say to you?
He said to me, thanks. And I said, you need to pay me back.
And what did he say?
He said, yes, he'll pay me back. And I stressed it to him. I need this money back.
All right, Mr. Reyes, now I'm going to hear your version of the events, sir. What were you arrested for?
Driving with a suspended license.
So I gather you took the car keys and went home.
I stayed in the bar till 2 o'clock in the morning till they had last call. They did not come back. He had left his keys on there. He did not tell me he was going. They both just left. So how am I supposed to get home? I took the keys and I drove home. When I went home, there was a cop already there. They had my name on a piece of paper like someone had called the cops on me already. So I went there. He asked to see my driver's license. I showed him my driver's license, and he took me to jail.
Then you called him.
Yes, I called him.
And what did you say when you
I
called
said,
him?
well, what happened yesterday? He goes, oh, I left you the car. He said, I didn't come back yesterday. He said, why, where are you? I said, I'm in jail. He goes, oh, don't worry, I'll get you out. He said, don't worry about it. Trust me, I'll get you out. I don't have the money to pay him back. I didn't ask him to bail me out. If he bailed me out, it's because he felt sorry for leaving me with the car. He knew I couldn't drive with a suspended license. I didn't want to drive.
Why was your license suspended?
Not paying a ticket. And I got pulled over before, and he gave me a ticket for driving with a suspended license. And he said, next time you will go to jail. So I didn't want to drive.
Where do you live?
I live in Orlando.
And is that where the karaoke bar was?
Yes.
Now, Orlando, Florida is a major metropolis. I've been to Orlando, Florida. Do you know what they have in Orlando, Florida?
Disney World? I don't know.
Do you know what else they have in Orlando? Taxi cabs.
Your Honor, I had no money.
Your Honor, I left him with money. I left him set.
Just a second.
All right.
Yeah, by the time the bar was closed, I was broke.
Mr. Reyes, that's what you call lack of planning, sir. Because if you were waiting for him and he didn't come back and he left after 20 minutes, something should have gone on in your head that said to you, maybe I am stranded here, so I better take the $20 that he gave me and put a couple of dollars away so that you could call a taxi cab to take you home since you didn't have a driver's license.
I understand what you're saying, Your Honor, but he left me an ATM card. Taxi cabs do not take ATM cards.
And $20.
He had an open tab on the bar. When it was closed with $20 that I had spent drinking.
What happened as a result of that case, Mr. Reyes?
They gave me day served.
And a fine?
Yes.
How much was the fine?
The fine.
Versus Thompson. Has been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Gibbs, the defendant's daughter, I assume this young lady.
Yes.
It's a babysitter for you.
Briefly, yes.
And your lawsuit wants her parents to pay for the following, because she's a minor.
Correct.
She ran up a phone bill from your house?
Mm-hmm.
So you want them to pay for the phone bill?
Correct.
And you want a return of the money that you paid her for babysitting?
Yes.
Because you say she was not a good babysitter.
Not exactly because she wasn't a good one, but more or less she was not attending to them.
Okay, that's your lawsuit. The Thompsons have a counterclaim, and the Thompsons want you to pay more for babysitting, because they say that you owe their daughter for babysitting. And they say that they also want punitive damages because they say that you were a bad influence on their daughter, which they will explain to me. So let's see where we can fix some responsibility here. What is your first name?
Clarissa.
When did Clarissa start to babysit for you?
Early February. I probably have an exact date in my calendar. Yeah, early February, like around the 9th, I believe, is the first time she babysat for me.
And how did you find her?
They lived above me in the apartment complex and had talked about babysitting and asked her to come over a few times prior to that.
Who did you talk to?
Clarissa.
Directly?
Yes.
So that all the arrangements that you made were with Clarissa?
Yes, ma'am.
And you arranged a fee?
Yes. After about a week or so, we decided that I would just go ahead and give her $30 a week because I was using her for an hour here, an hour there during the week.
So far, Clarissa, is that correct that she was going to pay you $30 a week?
No, it is not.
Well, what was she supposed to pay you?
Well, she agreed to pay me $20 every time I babysat for her, which led to almost every day.
Really? $20 a day, even if you only babysat for an hour?
It was more than an hour. I would stay overnight sometimes because she would come home so late.
So starting the beginning of February, she started to babysit for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right, Clarissa?
Yes, I started February 12th, actually.
Okay. Did she babysit for you in March?
Yes, she did.
Is that right, Clarissa?
Yes.
And you got paid?
Not really. She only paid me like once, and that was $60.
In all the time that you babysat for her?
Only $60.
Really?
Yes.
What about April? Did she babysit for you?
No,
in
ma'am.
April?
I received my first phone bill on March 24th.
And that's when you stopped the babysitting?
Actually, I had stopped babysitting about a week prior to that. I had come home and my 2-year-old had burned a popsicle stick on the stove. He said he was cooking it.
Okay. And how many weeks in total had she babysat for you?
Approximately 4 or 5.
How many weeks?
6.
Let's go through your book and figure out exactly how many weeks she babysat for you.
Would you like the book?
Yeah.
I didn't write down always when she babysat. I know I have the first few times written down.
She babysat every week for you after you hired her. She babysat for you for 5 weeks. Now, according to you, you were supposed to pay her $30 a week.
February 22nd was the first time I gave her $30. So I would imagine it would have been the first part of that week that we had made that agreement.
Well, then it's 4 weeks.
Okay, so
4
it's about a
weeks
week.
times 30 is $120. Now, how much had you actually paid her?
I've actually paid $140 because of the time prior to that.
So according to your records, you're all paid up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, tell me about the phone bill.
Clarissa would use the phone when she babysat, and from the very beginning I told her I did not have a problem with her using the phone, not to make long-distance calls. I'm a single mother. I don't have means to pay for long distance. I don't use long distance myself. I received my first bill on March 24th, I believe it was, that I put on there, and the long distance charges for that month were $308.40.
Who were you calling, Clarissa?
It was an ex-boyfriend of mine at the time.
Did you know that that was the wrong thing to do?
When I first started babysitting for her, she told me that I had all privileges of the phone. She never told me not to make long-distance calls.
Well, did you make those long-distance calls in your own house?
Sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes?
Well,
did you ever get a phone bill for $300 a month?
No, ma'am.
No, of course not. Don't fool around with me, Clarissa. Don't fool around with me. Okay, so that's $308. Was that the total phone bill?
No, then I received one in mid-April for $31 in long distance, $87 in collect calls, and...
Was the boyfriend making collect calls to you?
No, he always called me direct.
So nobody called you collect?
No.
Does this have the number of the...
Yes, it does.
Is it the same number that she
No,
called?
ma'am, it's not. It's a Fresno number. And I asked Clarissa, have you been accepting collect calls from this number? And she says, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. And I have here $85 in collect calls. There's...
Well, she says she doesn't know whose those are, but it really doesn't make any difference.
They're not mine.
Let's say they're Clarissa's. Why should her parents be responsible for that?
Because she's a minor.
No, you're responsible for it. And I'm going to tell you why you're responsible for it. Because you have a mechanism where you can put on your phone a block so that you can't make long-distance calls.
I've never had a need for that. I make long-distance occasionally.
Let me explain something to you. Your business arrangement was never with Clarissa's parents. Your business arrangement was with Clarissa. And if you want to ensure that things in your house are not abused, you have to take steps to do that. Her parents can't come into your house and do that. You have to do that. They are not responsible for the long-distance call made by their daughter in your house. You're responsible. You have to be prudent and vigilant. Make sure that the phone isn't used. Put the phone away. Lock up the phone. Disconnect the phone. Do whatever you want to do with it. But there is no way that you are going to hold the Thompsons responsible for her calls that she made.
I had
not going to
discussed
happen.
the agreement with her mother at one time, though, Your Honor.
I don't care whether you discuss an agreement with her mother or not. They're not responsible. You're responsible because they have no ability to see to it that in your house the phone isn't abused. They know how to do it in their house because her mother wouldn't tolerate it. Right?
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You think you're entitled to more money?
Well, yes.
Really? How much do you think she owes you?
Well, see...
Give me an idea
I say about over 600.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robbie Gibbs says former babysitter 16-year-old Clarissa Thompson ran up her phone bill with long-distance phone calls. Clarissa says Robbie still owes her money.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, he would call her directly when I was there.
So?
So I never had any clue that she was calling him or making
Neither
phone
did her
calls.
mother. Neither did her mother. You want to take care of your phone? Lock it in your drawer. It's not a mother's fault. And you'll know better next time. You hire a babysitter, you take out the phone. Or you put a block on it. You say you can't make long-distance calls. That's it. It's not legally responsible. And I can't find that her parents are responsible because you have the responsibility of ensuring that when you hire a teenage babysitter and you know that they sit on the phone and they can sit on the phone for hours, you make sure that they can't get to your phone. All right. Now, you want to tell me why you think you're entitled to any money back from the money that you paid her for babysitting?
Because she wasn't babysitting. She would go in my room and shut the door and use the phone. I came home on an occasion when that happened.
When was the first time you came home and
It
found
was
her?
about 2 weeks before I had her quit babysitting, and I told her she was not welcome at my home anymore. Her mother came down. We talked about it. Her mother assured me that it would not happen again. The following week is when I came home and my son had been burning a popsicle stick.
So? Then you fired her.
And then I fired her. Yes.
So why do you think you're entitled to anything back?
I just put it in there because I thought that I paid her for services that were not rendered.
You should have been more vigilant. If I came home and found my two babies weren't being cared for by a babysitter, I would say thank you very much. I'm paying you for the day. You're not welcome back here
Which
anymore.
is what I did.
No.
And then her
you
mother
had a
came down and
conversation
spoke
with
with
her
me.
mother, and her mother assured you it wasn't going to happen again. Come on. Get real. All right. Now let's get to your counterclaim, if you're serious about it. You think you're entitled to more money?
Well, yes.
Really? Why don't you tell me why you think you're entitled to more money?
Well, because I did babysit for the kids, you know, like, because most of the time she was barely in there. She'd send her oldest son to come get me at 6:30 after she got off work, and then she'd be gone all night.
How much do you think she owes you for babysitting?
Well, see...
Give me an idea.
I say about over 600, but
Really? You think over $600?
Yes.
Really? And you babysat for her each and every week?
Yes.
And you accepted the money she gave you, and you didn't say to her, no, you owe me more than $30 a week. I'm not taking the $30. You came back and you babysat for her again, another week, and then another week, and then another week.
She kept promising me, oh, I have to go to the bank, oh, I haven't got my check yet, or I haven't cashed it. That's what she had kept telling me. So
I'm just going to sit on the phone and talk to my boyfriend. Forget any more money. Chalk it up to the time that you were sitting on the phone in the bedroom, chewing the fat with the boyfriend. You got me?
Yes.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to tell me about your counterclaim?
Yes, ma'am. I was suing her for punitive damage because, actually, I don't want to do this.
Smart. Smart. It's her responsibility to take care of her phone. It's your daughter's responsibility to do the right thing if she's babysitting. I'm sure that you've had a chat with her about abusing the privilege of somebody else's phone. I have a feeling you have.
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right, Miss Gibb. Next time, you just be a little more careful, madam. That's all.
Please excuse. You may step out.
I was pretty upset.
I'm very sorry for Mrs. Gibbs, and I hope that she get her life together.
She said that she had permission. Her parents said, no, you didn't have permission.
They both played on the telephone.
Not to let teenagers babysit anymore.
Not to babysit for people like her again.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harvey versus Hyatt. Step forward, please.
Student Tammy Harvey is suing her ex-boyfriend, mechanic Glenn Hyatt, for the cost of breast reconstruction surgery. Glenn says Tammy's surgery is not his responsibility.
Miss Harvey, the defendant is a former boyfriend of yours, and it is your claim that he promised to pay for some repair work on breast implants that you had while you were together. You've since broken up, and he refuses to pay for this reconstructive kind of surgery, which you have not yet had. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Were you living together?
At one point.
When?
From March till December of the past year.
And you had breast augmentation surgery previously, is that
Yes.
right? When? How old were you?
27.
Okay. So when you were 27, you had breast augmentation surgery for the first time. Did you ever have any subsequent surgery?
Yes, I had problems.
What kind of problems did you have?
With the first set, I had hardening, which they took them out and put saline and silicone in, where they would enhance them gradually so it wouldn't build up the scar tissue.
And how
then
old were you when that happened?
All of this happened within 5 years. I had like 5 surgeries.
5?
Mm-hmm.
When you were 27, you had the first surgery. When did you have the next one?
Like the year after that.
Why?
After the hardening, they wanted to take out the bulbs that they used to put the saline in. And when he took the bulbs out, he wanted to just put in a new fresh set with the upgraded implants.
So that's when you were 28.
Right.
When did you have the next surgery?
It was a couple of weeks after that I developed a staph infection, and they removed the right breast implant, and then I went a year without an implant.
Without?
Right.
Ms. Harvey, you went and had the implants put in again.
I had to because the skin had stretched so much. The doctor said it wouldn't look normal if he hadn't put another implant in there to replace the...
So then you were 29?
Correct.
So now I have 4 surgeries. When was the 5th?
The year after that, after the staph infection, he put new saline implants in, and then they were fine for the next 8 years.
What happened 8 years later? So at that point you're about 38.
Right. I started dating the defendant, and I was having some problems. They were hurting. We massaged them together, Glenn and I, and in an intimate moment, the right one, it ruptured. And it took some time before the saline came down. But over time, you know, it was obvious, and it made a real impression on my self-esteem and everything. And the defendant and I were engaged to be married, and we were getting his finances in order so we could be married. So I was taking care of the majority of the bills and helping him. And when it came time for me to have my surgery, because last summer we couldn't enjoy going to the pool and everything like that, that's when he took me to the doctor. I had 2 consultations, and the surgeries were between $6,400 and $6,700. At that time, the defendant did a quick app financing the surgery, but it was denied. And now, you know, I wanted to get this taken care of because it is noticeable, and I have pain because scar tissue builds up around the implant where it is because it's flat now, it's not smooth, and I have a lot of pain, and psychologically it's just hurting me, and he's backed away from his commitment to me.
Well, I didn't hear about a commitment.
We've talked over the 2 years about taking care of it.
As a couple?
As a couple.
When you were sharing expenses?
Correct.
Okay. You want to say anything, Mr. Height?
I just deny any responsibility for ever saying that I would pay for her surgery, and I had nothing to do with it, with her implant rupturing.
I have a quick app that he said he would pay for it, and I have the doctor's with a picture.
Okay, go ahead.
I filled out that application to help her get the money, you know, for financing her surgery. That's the only reason that I did it. It wasn't to say that I would pay for it.
I think that there is some truth somewhere in the middle of your 2 statements, and that is that it was contemplated that as a couple, since you were going to be pooling your money at some point if you got married, this would be a joint debt because you were filling out the credit application if you couldn't get credit, and you were going to be a couple and move on, and this was just going to be one of the things that you had to pay off. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, so that's somewhere in the middle of he promised to pay for it and I didn't promise to pay for it. It was going to be a family debt. But you're no longer a family, Miss Harvey. That's your problem. There has to be a reason.
I put most of our debts for the past 2 years on my credit cards to help him get out of debt in the promise that we would be married. And I did have a promise he would pay for it. He's not telling the truth. He said he would pay for the surgery.
Oh, I think that it was a family obligation that when you were together, you put the majority of your money to use paying off debt. That was a nice thing. However, that does not create a promise that he would take care of this for you. I have just a couple of questions, Mr. Height. How much do you think she paid off in debt for you over the short time that you were together?
I don't recall her ever paying anything off for me. We took some trips and went to eat and things like that on her credit card. But as far as her taking money and paying any of my financial responsibilities, monthly debts and bills, that never happened.
So what you're saying is that she relieved you of certain stress by paying for your entertainment and your vacations
expenses.
And some living expenses.
He lived free.
Did you pay rent when you were living together?
I did not pay rent. I paid the utilities.
Not always. I paid 7 out of 5 times for the utilities.
I mean, you paid 5 times out of 7 months.
No, he was
Can't
more...
pay 7 out of 5. That math doesn't work. Miss Harvey,
Yes.
the romance is over. It's sad that it's over. And I'm not going to give you any medical advice because I'm not a doctor, but it seems to me a substantial part of your late 20s, early 30s, and now beyond are involved in recuperating from surgery. Maybe you should just say, this was not meant to be.
The doctor said that I would have to have the surgery, and the implants needed to come out because of chance of infection, and that
Do you have medical insurance?
No, I don't. They won't cover it because it's cosmetic.
Well, this isn't cosmetic if the doctor says it has to come out. For medical reasons, a chance of infection, then that's not a cosmetic reason.
They both
Ms.
denied
Hart.
my insurance.
Well, then I would appeal it, because if what you're saying to me is that you have medical proof that this is dangerous to your health, then your insurance should pay for it. They may not pay for the reconstructive part, but they certainly should pay for removing them. In any event, I find that no promise existed, no contract existed between the plaintiff and the defendant for him to assume the full responsibility of your surgery. And unfortunately, Ms. Harvey, I think you're going to have to assume the responsibility of this surgery yourself. Case is dismissed, that's all.
Parties Spencer versus Drever. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Thank you, Bert.
You're welcome, Judge.
Ms. Spencer, Mr. Drever is your former boyfriend. You have a child together.
Yes.
According to your complaint, he owes you for a month's rent and a phone bill, a cell phone bill, from well over a year ago. The reason you waited to sue him was because he was incarcerated for the last year based upon an incident that occurred about a year ago with you.
Yes.
Mr. Drever, according to what I read, you were on probation for something else. There was an argument. She alleged that you hit her. You were ultimately convicted of that. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you incarcerated for the year on that conviction or on the parole violation?
Both, Your Honor.
What had you been on parole for?
Aggravated assault, ma'am.
On her?
It was another man.
Have you learned to control your temper a little better?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a good thing. Now, tell me about first the phone bill.
Back in approximately June of 2001, Keith had recently gotten out of a correctional facility after getting out of jail. It was a drug rehab program, and right around the time he got out, he started developing a relationship with our son again.
How old is your son?
He's 4. So because of his credit history, he couldn't get a home phone, so he tried to get a cell phone. He asked me, since I had a phone already in my name, would I be willing to get a secondary phone so that we could be in contact with each other in case of emergencies or what have you, since there were going to be times when our son would be with him. He agreed he'd pay the $14.99 a month plus any charges he incurred for going over the minutes. He never paid me on any of it.
Okay, so how much was his portion of the bill?
His portion total is $678.20.
Okay, let's deal with the phone first. Yes, sir.
With the cell phone, I disagree as far as the reason why I got the phone. We had discussed with her particular job, she goes on call, and she would need someone to watch my son, who was 3 at the time. And then what wound up happening is the phone turned into more like an electronic leash.
So I gather you're saying that she wanted to keep tabs on you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's one thing, but did you use the phone and go over the minutes calling other people?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, well, so who should pay for that?
I should.
Good. That's easy. Can I see the bill, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor?
Yeah.
I would have paid the cell phone. I would have paid the rent. But because of the fact that I went to jail for a domestic, I did.
This is your fault. Shh. Sorry.
I did 13 and a half months sentence in prison because...
You lost your temper.
I didn't strike her, Your Honor. I did not touch her. She got mad at me, she called the police, and I went to prison. Now, I got out...
Miss Spencer.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that true? Did he, in fact, put his hands on you?
Yes, ma'am.
How did he put his hands on you?
He
Look
was
at me.
Yes, ma'am. He was attempting to come into the apartment. As you can see, he's slightly larger than me. He was trying to get in the apartment. I'm very stubborn. I'm not going to deny it. I was standing in the doorway trying to prevent him from coming in.
You weren't living together at the time?
Yes, we were, but we only been living together for a month. It was me, him, and his roommate.
So you'd been living together, and he was trying to get into the apartment?
To get a 12-pack of beer out of the refrigerator.
And you're blocking the door?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
I got elbowed in the eye, in which I sustained a black eye.
How did that happen?
As he's trying to push his way in.
Yeah.
His elbow got me in the eye.
So it was an accident?
I don't
So
know
it was an accident? Is what you're telling me, Miss Spencer, is that it was an accident?
No, ma'am.
He didn't hit you with his fist, did he?
No.
You were blocking the door in a place where he was a tenant. Is that
Yes.
right?
This is his second incident against a female for domestic violence. He's also got a charge against his wife.
Then I want to tell you something. You shouldn't have put yourself in that position.
I agree.
Right? However, what he's telling me has a ring of truth to it. You were blocking his entrance from getting into his home. He pushed you out of the way. He didn't hit you. But as he pushed you out of the way, his elbow hit you in the eye. His elbow. You
Well,
know,
that's what he thinks. We're not sure
he didn't go
exactly
like
how.
this and hit you in
No,
the eye.
no, ma'am.
His elbow hit you as he was coming in, and he's saying for that he was incarcerated for 13 months.
No.
That's a long time.
Right. If you were to ask our son, who was present during this, what happened, he said he would tell people his daddy was in jail for punching mommy in the face.
But he didn't punch you in the face, Miss
Right.
Spencer.
I agree.
But he didn't punch you in the face.
Right. I also have a letter from Mr. Drever that I'd like to submit, if I may,
I'd
please.
like to see it.
He received this soon after being served for a previous.
Well, it's a nasty letter, but he spent 13 months in jail for something that really has some mitigating circumstance to it. Did you have a trial?
Well, ma'am, the way the situation worked, I had 3 days.
Did you have a trial?
No, ma'am. I had a plea bargaining hearing.
What was the plea bargain?
13.5 months, or I would
On the old case and this case?
in this case to get it cleared out. If I would have taken it to trial, and even if I would have won the trial, they were going to send me away for 7 years.
On the
based
parole violation?
On the probation violation, correct.
Your Honor, he also has a copy of his arrest history with him. If you could look at that, you would kind of get an
I
idea.
believe, listen to me, Miss Spencer.
Yes, ma'am.
My dear, I believe that Mr. Drever has a very bad temper. Whether he has resolved his very bad temper, I don't know. But you and I both know that you precipitated this altercation that happened in September of 2001 by blocking the door. First of all, by moving back in with him.
He moved in with me.
You permitted that.
Right.
You knew his history. You permitted that. And if he was going inside to get a six-pack of beer and you decided you didn't want him to do that and you stood in his way, he's allowed to go into his home.
Well, there's an
Madam.
incident that precipitated that I didn't get a chance to say. I had left. We got into an argument. I had left and gone to my friend's house. When I came back, my son was dressed, sitting on top of a suitcase, and said that him and Daddy were going back to Lenny. That's his ex-girlfriend. So I was trying to keep him out of the house because I didn't know that he wasn't going to take my son and leave.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He owes me over $7,000 in child support.
You mean for this past year as well?
Yeah, but the state of Ohio doesn't overlook it because he was in jail. They don't care.
I care. I care.
And later today,
She said, well, I need the money. She said, because I got to pay bills and feed my children. I said, well, I don't have it right now. She said, well, you better get it.
You're a hustler.
I'm a hustler.
You're a hustler.
I'm about as much hustler
You're a
as you are.
hustler.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Candace Spencer says the father of her child, Keith Drever, owes for rent and a cell phone bill. Keith says Candace had him falsely arrested and thrown in jail for 13 months.
Just a second. You left and left your son with him.
And a roommate. I left to give him a cooling off period.
But you left your son with him, so
Right.
clearly you were not concerned for your son's safety. You knew he was with his father and he was going to be okay. So you both cooled off for a while.
Right.
Why did you prevent him from going back into the house?
Because he had started yelling and screaming and threatening me in front of our roommate, and I was afraid that he was going to do something to me or my son, so I was trying to keep him out of the apartment. I was trying to close the door, and he was trying to get back in.
Do you see your son now, Mr. Drever?
Yes, ma'am.
How often?
As much as I can.
You have a court order of visitation?
No, ma'am.
He has a court-ordered child support that he hasn't paid. He owes me over $7,000 in child support.
Well, just a second. You mean for this past year as well?
Yeah, but the state of Ohio doesn't overlook it because he was in jail. They don't care. It's the state of Ohio
care.
child support. I agree.
I care.
Well, I understand.
Good. But you see your son.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Drever, I want you to understand this, sir. I think that what you have to do is you have to put a period with regard to this bad feeling. She lets you visit with your son, even without a court order. I think that you ought to pay her this money. Clearly you owe her the money, and the reason that you say you're not going to pay her the money is because you're angry that she had you incarcerated for 13 months.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Right? Part of that responsibility is yours. You were in that position. Had you not been on parole for a very serious case, he wouldn't have been facing 7 years in jail. Is that right?
That's correct, ma'am.
So, and nobody put you in that position except you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, it's unfortunate. but I think that you got to pay her this money for the phone. I don't think, however, that you have to pay her the money for the rent, and I'm going to tell you why. She blocked your entrance to your home. She refused to give you entry into a premises that was your home. She not entitled to any rent for that month. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Good. Judgment for the plaintiff, not in the amount requested, which is $880, but $678.20, which is the amount of the phone bill. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I can be thrown in jail for doing nothing, basically, and then lose a year income and then still have to pay her money.
I'm a bigger person, and I allow him to see our son without the fact that he hasn't paid me any child support, so I'm going to get along with him as best as I can for the sake of our son.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Moore versus Muhammad. Step forward, please.
Pharmacy technician Tracy Moore is suing her ex-boyfriend, private detective Busharat Muhammad, for an unpaid loan to get his car out of the shop. Busharat is countersuing for medical bills as the result of Tracy's harassment.
Miss Moore, you claim a loan, a small one, of $200 to the defendant, who at some point was a boyfriend of yours.
Yes.
Mr. Mohammed says there was never a loan. You did, in fact, give him $200, which is the amount you're suing for, but that was for work that he was doing for you in his capacity as a private investigator. Mr. Mohammed has filed a counterclaim alleging that because you harassed him for this $200 over a long period of time, he developed an ulcer, and he would like you to pay some $2,000 for his medical bills. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you meet him, and when did you give him the $200?
I met him at the end of July in 2002. I loaned him the $200 on September 2nd in the agreement that he was going to pay me back.
September 2nd?
Yes, ma'am.
So did you start to date him? Were you dating him in July and August?
You could say that, yes.
What do you mean? I don't want to say that. I want to know if you want to say that.
Sorry. It was more of he tried starting to take control of me and was making me call him all the time, and so I guess he was claiming me as his girlfriend, yes.
I don't know what that means.
Your Honor, she's lying. That's why she can't even tell the court straight what's going on.
I'm going to get to you in a second. Did you go out to dinner together?
No, ma'am.
Did you go to a movie together?
No, ma'am.
Did you go visit a park together?
No, he was always...
A zoo?
No.
I don't want to hear anything. Did he come to your house?
Yes.
For dinner?
No, ma'am.
Did you have an intimate relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about this $200 in September.
He asked me to loan him $200 so he can get his car out of a shop.
Tell me where you were when you had this discussion.
In my apartment.
And exactly what did he say to you?
He asked me if he could borrow the $200 so he can get his car out of the shop, and that he would pay me back within 2 days when he got his money. And then he took me to the bank to cash my check, and that's when I gave him the $200.
And what happened on September 2nd? After that, you didn't see him anymore?
He didn't come over, and I would try and call him, and he told me to stop harassing him, and he would hang up on me.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Mohammed, let me hear you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, Your Honor, we never dated. We had a friendship, but we never dated. That's why she couldn't get it straight. I never told her my car was in the shop. She came to me. She said that her mother was trying to...
Just a second. She came to you where?
Well, we were at her house talking.
So you were at her house?
Exactly.
She didn't come to you?
No, we were at her house.
You went to her house?
I went to her house to visit her.
Go ahead.
And she said that her mother was her mother was really upset, and I said, about what? And she said, well, because she is trying to get money from her ex-husband, trying to garnish his wages. I said, well, I did investigation part-time before. If you want me to try to help you, I can save her a lot of money by taking her down to the court places where you could buy the paperwork, show her how to fill the paperwork out. She could do it herself.
You were going to take her to the courthouse?
No.
Where?
I have a client of mine that owns a store where he sells paper, the packets that show you how to file on landlord disputes and certain things, small things, individual.
So you were going to take her to the store?
Yes, ma'am.
And get her the right set of forms?
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And she said, yes. She said, well, I told her, well, for a flat fee of $200, I would do that. Ms. Moore said, I'll give it to him when I get my check in the mail.
Okay, so that's what you say it was for. You took her to the bank, she gave you the $200.
Exactly.
And that was on what date, sir?
That was around September the 7th or 8th.
Okay. Now, when did you take her mother to the store?
I never did.
You never did?
No, ma'am.
Well, that's what you were supposed to do, according to your answer, Mr. Mohammed, for the $200.
Exactly.
So you didn't do what you had said you were going to do.
No, ma'am. I did
Why not?
Because I tried to contact her mother 3 days in a row. In fact, after I got the money the next day, I called her. I said, look, we need to try to get down there and take her to the stationery
Okay,
store.
so you didn't get together with the mother, so keep going.
So she called me about 2 days later and said, I want the money back.
Right.
I said, I don't have it right now. I said, my thing was to help your mother. She said, well, I need the money. She said, because I got to pay bills and feed my children. I said, well, I don't have it right now. She said, well, you better get it.
You're a hustler.
I'm a hustler.
You're a hustler.
I'm about as much hustler
You're a
as you are.
hustler. You're a hustler, Mr. Mohammed. Let me tell you why you're a hustler. Because I read your answer very carefully. Let's understand what you've just testified to before I get to it. You said to me that this was not a loan.
Right.
This had nothing to do with your car.
Exactly.
You said to... Don't agree with me, sir. You said to me that you were having a discussion with her. She said her mother needed to do some work to get some alimony or support from her ex-husband. You had a friend who had a stationery store. You were going to take her mother down there and make sure she got the right forms. That's not something that costs $200.
No,
let me finish. I'm finishing now, but that's what you were going to do. And then, for one reason or another, within a day or two, you realized that this wasn't going to come about. You weren't going to take her mother down to get the forms, and therefore you had done nothing so far. Nothing for that $200. Now, let me read from your answer, sir. In August, she hired me to do some investigating on her mother's ex-husband. I made them a deal that I would do the work for a flat fee of $200 up front. I got started on the case. What case? Going to your friend's store? In any case, I started the work, and the few days I put in on the case are worth more than $200. That's what you swore to. You did nothing. Nothing. So, why didn't you give it back to her?
Because she had people coming over to where I live at, threatening me on the phone.
Why didn't you just give her back the $200 or say to her,
because she
I'm
never
sorry,
said,
Miss Moore, I shouldn't have spent it before I did anything, but I
told her
spent
that.
it.
I told her that.
Did you tell her you would give it back to her?
I did tell her that.
Did you tell her when?
I told her to give me a couple of weeks.
So why, Mr. Mohammed, did you swear to, in your statement to me, that you had already done work on the case? Why didn't you just say, I told her that I would give her back her money, just give me 2 weeks, I didn't have it? Why didn't you write that in your answer?
Because I did tell her that. I did tell her I would give her the money back.
You didn't tell that to me.
Even though I initially had started, even though I contacted her 3 days in a row to contact her mother. I even met with her mother. Her mother came by and I talked to her mother.
You getting the whole thing?
I went to her house and talked to her mother.
You're getting the whole thing, right? All right, let's get to your counterclaim. So she bothered you. She called you 50 times a day.
No, she's sending
and you got
people
an
over to
ulcer.
my house threatening me with
And?
terroristic threats, physical violence.
And that gave
That's
you an
not
ulcer.
how you go about getting your money.
That gave you an ulcer?
Well, what gave me ulcer was deciding, well, should I kill these people for threatening me over $200? Or should I try? Because people don't understand. Little small things start great wars. And these people were threatening me with physical violence about $200. I'm not no punk or pushover. So if they got to bring a life to take a life, my point is that they come to take my life, I'm going to take theirs, even if it's about $200.
Good. Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $200. Your
Thank you.
counterclaim's dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What if I told you that the strongest power you have after a breakup is not chasing, begging, or explaining, but becoming so grounded, confident, and self-respecting that even someone who walked away starts questioning their decision? This is not about manipulation. This is about growth so powerful that it changes how people see you and how you see yourself. Self-respect is not something you demand from others. It is something you demonstrate through your behavior, your choices, and the standards you refuse to lower. After a breakup or rejection, most people lose this first. They start questioning their worth, replaying conversations, blaming themselves, and trying to fix what went wrong by overgiving. This is where the real damage happens. When you abandon your self-respect, you don't just lose the relationship, you lose yourself. And that loss is far more dangerous. Rebuilding your self-respect means deciding consciously and courageously that your value does not decrease just because someone couldn't see it. In real life, especially for students, this moment feels similar to failing an important exam or being rejected from a university you dreamed of. At first, it feels personal. You feel small, embarrassed, and invisible. But the students who succeed later are not the ones who panic or beg for sympathy. They are the ones who pause, reflect, and say, I will not let this define me. The same rule applies here. When you stop chasing validation and start rebuilding your inner foundation, something powerful shifts. Your posture changes, your tone changes, your energy changes. And people notice energy before they notice words. Self-respect starts with boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are rules that protect your peace. It means you stop replying instantly just to prove you still care. It means you don't stalk their social media to measure your worth against someone else. It means you don't accept disrespect disguised as confusion. Just like a focused student creates boundaries around their time to protect their grades, you must create emotional boundaries to protect your dignity. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you are training your mind to value itself again. Rebuilding self-respect also means taking responsibility without self-blame. You can acknowledge mistakes without turning them into punishments. Strong people don't deny their flaws, but they don't live inside them either. They learn, adjust, and move forward. This mindset is crucial for growth. Students who improve academically don't say, "I'm stupid." They say, "My strategy was wrong, so I'll change it." Apply the same logic here. You are not unlovable. You are evolving. When you start treating yourself with respect, your behavior naturally becomes attractive. You speak with more clarity. You listen more and react less. You stop over-explaining. You don't try to convince anyone of your worth because deep down, you already know it. This quiet confidence is rare and rarity creates value. People don't feel pressured around someone who respects themselves. They feel curious, they feel safe, they feel drawn in. Most importantly, self-respect reconnects you with your purpose. Instead of waking up thinking about who left, you wake up thinking about where you're going. Your focus shifts to your education, your career, your health, your goals. This shift is powerful because it puts you back in control. Control is attractive, not just to others, but to your own mind. When you feel in control, anxiety reduces, clarity increases, and motivation returns. And here is the truth most people miss. When someone sees that you no longer need their validation to feel whole, it forces them to confront their decision. Not because you begged, not because you chased, but because you grew. Self-respect creates a mirror. It reflects strength, and strength makes people question what they walked away from. But even if no one ever looks back, self-respect ensures you never look down on yourself again. You stand taller, think clearer, and move forward stronger. That alone makes the journey worth it. When someone walks away, the natural instinct is to chase. You want answers, closure, reassurance, or at least one more conversation to feel better. But chasing never brings peace. It only keeps you stuck in the same emotional loop. The moment you chase, you place your happiness in someone else's hands. Growth begins when you take that power back. Stopping the chase is not about pretending you don't care. It's about deciding that your future deserves more attention than your past. For students, this pattern is easy to understand. Imagine failing a subject and spending all your energy complaining about the teacher, the system, or the exam instead of changing your study habits. Nothing improves until action changes. Relationships work the same way. If you keep repeating the same behaviors, checking your phone, rereading old messages, waiting for signs, you remain emotionally dependent. Replacing those habits with growth-oriented actions is what slowly rebuilds your strength. Growth starts with structure. When emotions are chaotic, routine becomes your anchor. You wake up at a fixed time, you plan your day, you study, you exercise, you eat properly. These may sound basic, but basic actions create powerful results when done consistently. Students who succeed don't rely on motivation alone, they rely on systems. By creating a structured routine, you redirect your energy from obsession to progress. Each productive day becomes proof that you are capable of moving forward. Replacing old habits also means becoming aware of emotional triggers. Certain songs, places, conversations, or late-night thoughts pull you back into the past. Growth does not mean avoiding feelings. It means managing them wisely. Just like a student limits distractions during exams, you must limit emotional distractions during healing. This is not weakness. It is discipline. And discipline is a form of self-respect. As you invest in personal development, something interesting happens. Your confidence starts returning, not because someone validated you, but because you validated yourself through action. You begin learning new skills, improving academically, or working on your physical health. These changes may seem small at first, but they compound over time. Growth is quiet in the beginning, but loud in its results. When your life improves, your mindset improves automatically. One of the most powerful shifts occurs when your focus changes from "why did they leave?" to "who am I becoming?" This question changes everything. It turns pain into purpose. Many high-achieving students use disappointment as fuel, not as an excuse. They channel frustration into effort. In the same way, emotional pain can become the push that upgrades your life. The key is direction. Pain without direction becomes suffering. Pain with direction becomes progress. When you stop chasing and start growing, your energy changes. You become less reactive and more intentional. You stop seeking attention and start attracting respect. People are naturally drawn to individuals who are focused on building something meaningful. Whether in academics, careers, or personal life, growth creates gravity. Others feel it even when you say nothing. Most importantly, replacing old habits with growth teaches you independence. You realize you can survive discomfort, loneliness, and uncertainty. This realization is empowering. Students who learn to study alone fail alone, and rise alone develop mental strength that lasts a lifetime. Emotional independence works the same way. You no longer need constant reassurance to feel okay. And here's the deeper truth: growth changes the dynamic completely. When you are no longer chasing, you are no longer predictable. When your life moves forward, curiosity replaces indifference. But even if no one ever notices, growth still pays the highest reward. You become stronger than the situation that once controlled you. That is real victory. Emotional strength is often misunderstood. Many people think it means hiding feelings or acting distant, but real emotional strength is about stability. It is the ability to feel deeply without losing control of yourself. After a breakup or rejection, emotions come in waves: sadness, anger, hope, fear, and confusion. If you allow every wave to decide your actions, you lose your center. Becoming emotionally strong means learning how to stay grounded even when your heart feels heavy. For students, emotional strength shows up during pressure. Before exams, anxiety tries to convince you that you are not ready, that you will fail, that others are better than you. The students who succeed are not emotionless, they are regulated. They feel the stress, but they don't let it dictate their behavior. They study anyway. They show up anyway. Relationships test emotional strength in the same way. The goal is not to stop feeling, but to stop reacting impulsively. Being emotionally strong also means not being emotionally available to chaos. When someone leaves, there is often mixed behavior: late night messages, sudden check-ins, emotional breadcrumbs. If you respond to everything instantly, you teach others that your emotions are always accessible. Emotional strength means you pause before responding. You ask yourself whether a reaction will bring peace or prolong confusion. This pause is powerful. It shifts you from reaction to choice. In real life, especially in academic environments, students who think before they speak are respected more. They don't rush to answer every question. They choose their moments. This same principle applies emotionally. When you stop oversharing, over-explaining, and overreacting, your presence becomes calmer and more composed. Calmness is attractive because it signals confidence and self-trust. Emotional strength is built through self-awareness. You start noticing your patterns. You recognize when loneliness makes you want to reach out, or when ego makes you want to prove something. Awareness gives you control. Just like a student who understands their weak subjects can improve faster, a person who understands their emotional triggers can grow stronger. You stop judging yourself for having emotions and start managing them with maturity. Another key part of emotional strength is acceptance. Acceptance does not mean approval. It means acknowledging reality without fighting it. When you accept that someone chose a different path, you free yourself from the exhausting need to change their mind. Students who accept a poor result can focus on improvement. Students who deny it remain stuck. Acceptance gives you clarity. Clarity gives you peace. As emotional strength increases, your self-respect deepens. You stop looking for validation in reactions. You don't need constant communication to feel secure. Your happiness is no longer dependent on someone else's attention. This independence is powerful because it removes pressure from interactions. People feel lighter around emotionally strong individuals because there is no demand, no desperation, no emotional burden. Emotional strength also improves decision-making. Instead of acting based on fear or hope, you act based on values. You choose what aligns with your long-term well-being, not short-term relief. Students who plan their studies think long-term. They sacrifice comfort today for success tomorrow. Emotional strength follows the same logic. You may feel the urge to reach out, but you choose growth instead. Over time, this strength becomes visible. Your reactions slow down. Your words become measured. Your silence becomes meaningful. Silence, when paired with emotional stability, creates presence. You are no longer trying to control outcomes. You are controlling yourself. That is true power. And the greatest reward of emotional strength is inner peace. When you can sit with your emotions without being controlled by them, you become resilient. Life will always bring uncertainty, but emotional strength ensures you don't lose yourself in it. You become steady, focused, and confident, qualities that benefit not just relationships, but every area of your life, including your studies, your career, and your future. After someone leaves your life, it is easy to let everything feel empty. Days feel longer, silence feels louder, and your routine starts revolving around what is missing instead of what is possible. This is where many people make a mistake. They pause their life, waiting emotionally, hoping something will change. But growth begins the moment you decide that your life will continue to expand with or without anyone else. Creating a life that looks full is not about pretending you are happy. It is about genuinely building meaning again. For students, this situation is very familiar. When a major setback happens, failing an exam, losing confidence, or missing an opportunity, some students stop participating, stop trying, and disconnect from others. But the students who rise are the ones who re-engage with life. They join study groups, participate in activities, and surround themselves with purpose. In the same way, after emotional loss, rebuilding a full life requires intentional action. A full life starts with connection. Humans are social beings, and isolation only deepens emotional pain. Reconnecting with friends, classmates, or family brings perspective. Conversations that are not about your past remind you that your identity is bigger than one relationship. Just like group study helps students stay motivated and accountable, healthy social interaction helps you regain emotional balance. Laughter, shared experiences, and support restore energy that sadness slowly drains. Purpose is another essential part of a full life. When your days have direction, your mind has less space to dwell on what's gone. Purpose does not have to be grand. It can be improving your grades, learning a new skill, volunteering, or working toward a career goal. Students who stay busy with meaningful goals are less affected by distractions. Purpose anchors you. It gives you a reason to wake up and move forward. Creating a full life also means exploring growth outside your comfort zone. Trying new activities changes your emotional environment. When you step into a new class, hobby, or project, your brain forms new associations. This is powerful because it rewires your routine. Just as students benefit from exposure to new subjects or learning styles, you benefit from new experiences that expand your identity beyond the past. A full life is not measured by how busy you look on the outside, but by how fulfilled you feel on the inside. Fulfillment grows when your actions align with your values. You start saying yes to things that support your growth and no to things that drain your peace. This decision-making maturity is similar to a student choosing quality study time over distractions. Each choice shapes your future emotional stability. When your life becomes genuinely full, your energy shifts. You are no longer waiting. You are participating. You are no longer observing others' lives. You are building your own. This shift is subtle but powerful. People sense when someone is engaged with life. It shows in your posture, your conversations, and your presence. You stop talking about what you lost and start talking about what you are building. Another important part of a full life is self-care. Physical health, sleep, and movement directly affect emotional strength. Students who neglect sleep and nutrition struggle academically. The same applies emotionally. Taking care of your body sends a message to your mind that you matter. This message rebuilds confidence slowly but steadily. Over time, a full life creates emotional independence. You realize that happiness is not something someone gives you, it is something you cultivate. This realization is liberating. You are no longer attached to outcomes you cannot control. You enjoy your journey instead of waiting for someone else to return to make it meaningful. The truth is, when you build a life that feels full, you don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Your life speaks for you. And whether anyone notices or not, you gain something far more valuable: momentum, peace, and a strong sense of self that cannot be easily shaken. One of the most underrated forms of confidence is silence backed by progress. In emotional moments, people feel the urge to explain themselves, defend their choices, or make sure others understand their pain. But over time, too much talking weakens your impact. Speaking less does not mean suppressing yourself, it means choosing depth over noise. When you reduce unnecessary explanations and focus on results, your presence becomes stronger and more respected. For students, this lesson is clear. The most improved students are rarely the loudest in the room. They don't announce their study plans or complain about difficulties. They quietly work, practice, and prepare. When results arrive, everyone notices. The same principle applies to personal growth. When you stop narrating your healing process and start living it, your growth becomes undeniable. Talking less also protects your emotional energy. Every time you explain yourself to someone who doesn't truly listen, you drain yourself. Emotional energy is limited. Students who waste energy on distractions struggle to perform academically. Similarly, when you waste emotional energy on justification or persuasion, you slow your own progress. Silence creates space to think, reflect, and grow. Letting results speak requires patience. Progress is not instant, and silence can feel uncomfortable at first. The mind wants reassurance, recognition, and validation. But real confidence is built in private. Students who revise consistently don't see immediate improvement, but over time their understanding deepens. Emotional and personal growth follow the same pattern. What you repeat quietly shapes who you become publicly. Silence also increases clarity. When you talk less, you listen more. You observe patterns, behaviors, and intentions more clearly. This awareness protects you from repeating mistakes. Students who listen carefully in class understand concepts better. In life, listening carefully helps you make better decisions. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding intelligently. Another benefit of speaking less is that it creates mystery. Mystery is not manipulation, it is the natural result of self-containment. When you don't explain every move, people pay attention. They wonder what you're working on, how you're doing, and what has changed. But this only works when silence is supported by action. Empty silence fades. Silent progress stands out. Results speak through behavior, not announcements. Your calm reactions, consistent routine, improved focus, and steady mindset communicate growth without words. Students who show discipline don't need to explain their success. Their performance explains it. Similarly, when your life starts improving, conversations change. You no longer need to convince anyone of your strength. They feel it. Silence also builds inner validation. Instead of seeking approval, you learn to measure yourself by your own standards. This shift is powerful. Students who rely on their own assessment grow faster than those who depend on praise. When you approve of your own effort, confidence becomes stable and independent. Over time, results reshape relationships. People treat you differently when they see consistency and growth. Respect replaces sympathy. Curiosity replaces indifference. But even if no one reacts, your internal transformation is already a victory. You become less reactive, more focused, and emotionally grounded. The greatest strength of speaking less and letting results speak is peace. You stop defending your journey. You stop explaining your silence. You simply live. And in that quiet, disciplined progress, you build a version of yourself that no argument, rejection, or opinion can shake. Choosing yourself is the hardest decision most people never fully make. It sounds simple, but in reality, it requires courage, discipline, and emotional honesty. After rejection or loss, the instinct is to keep the door open, to wait, to hope, and to pause your own life just in case someone returns. But choosing yourself means closing that emotional waiting room. It means deciding that your growth, peace, and future matter more than uncertainty. For students, this lesson appears early in life. At some point, every serious student must choose between short-term comfort and long-term success. Choosing to study while others relax is not easy. Choosing yourself works the same way emotionally. It means doing what supports your future, even when your heart wants familiarity. This choice is uncomfortable, but discomfort is the price of self-respect. Choosing yourself means prioritizing your goals without guilt. You stop feeling bad for focusing on your education, your health, or your ambitions. You realize that ambition is not selfish, neglecting yourself is. Students who succeed academically often disappoint others by saying no to distractions. But that no is a powerful yes to their future. Emotionally, the same rule applies. Every time you choose peace over drama, growth over attachment, you strengthen your identity. This decision also changes how you see love and relationships. You stop viewing love as something you chase or earn. Instead, you see it as something that complements your life, not completes it. This perspective is healthy and mature. Students who develop strong identities are less influenced by peer pressure. In the same way, emotionally strong individuals are less likely to lose themselves in relationships. They remain whole, grounded, and self-directed. Choosing yourself requires letting go of outcomes. You release the need for someone to come back, apologize, or understand. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means accepting that your peace does not depend on someone else's behavior. This acceptance is liberating. Students who stop obsessing over perfect grades perform better because they focus on effort instead of fear. Emotional freedom works the same way. As you consistently choose yourself, your confidence becomes quieter and deeper. You don't announce your standards, you live by them. You don't threaten to walk away. You already know you can. This inner certainty changes your posture, your voice, and your decisions. Confidence built this way is unshakable because it does not rely on external validation. Choosing yourself also builds resilience. Life will bring more challenges, academic pressure, career uncertainty, relationship tests. When you trust yourself, you face these challenges with strength instead of panic. Students who learn self-reliance adapt faster to change. Emotional self-reliance creates the same stability. You know you can handle disappointment without losing direction. The most powerful irony is this: when you truly choose yourself, you stop needing anyone to choose you. And that is when your presence becomes strongest. People sense when someone is no longer dependent. This independence commands respect. But even if no one ever returns, you have already gained something priceless: self-worth that is self-sustained. In the end, choosing yourself is not about winning someone back. It is about winning your life back. It is about waking up with purpose, moving forward with clarity, and building a future that excites you. When you choose yourself consistently, you become the kind of person who doesn't fear loss, because you know you will never abandon yourself again. At the end of it all, this journey was never truly about getting someone to come back. It was about coming back to yourself. Every step you took, rebuilding self-respect, replacing old habits with growth, becoming emotionally strong, creating a full life, staying quiet while letting results speak, and finally choosing yourself, was not a strategy to control someone else, but a path to reclaim your power. Power does not come from being needed. It comes from being whole. When you stop chasing, stop explaining, and stop waiting, something inside you settles. You realize that your value was never lost. It was only ignored, even by you for a while. Now you stand on stronger ground. Your confidence is calmer. Your focus is clearer. Your direction is sharper. You are no longer driven by fear of losing someone, but by the desire to build a life you respect. And here is the truth that changes everything. When you grow to this level, the outcome no longer controls you. If someone returns, they return to a stronger, wiser version of you, one who knows their worth. And if they don't, you still win, because you have built a future that does not depend on anyone's approval. That is freedom. So walk forward with your head high. Keep choosing growth over comfort, discipline over emotion, and self-respect over attachment. The strongest relationships you will ever build start with the relationship you have with yourself. Once that is solid, nothing and no one can take your power away again.